Canadian fashion, I apologized, and I said, folks, I'm incredibly sorry. We started late. You could really blame that on me. I wanted to get an Uber, but there were no drivers available. Okay, we're figuring out where you guys are. We're getting an idea for that one. The other thing that people wonder a lot is, where do comedians get their inspiration? And it comes across the board. There's all sorts of things all over the place. I'm a news junkie, and I read news from all across the spectrum. And I ran across this story a little while ago, and the headline was, Florida has a vote and decides not to outlaw marrying your cousin. Florida defeats bill to outlaw marrying your cousin. I'm going to say that again. Defeats the bill to outlaw marrying your cousin. So it is still legal in Florida to marry your first cousin. Which I didn't think, okay, it's just Florida. No. There are 13 other states in the U.S. where it's legal to marry your first cousin. It explains a lot, actually, when you think about it. All right, any guesses which ones those are?
Georgia.
Alabama's not on the list, believe it or not. I would have put that at the top of the list. Georgia, West Virginia, California, duh. That makes sense. The one that caught me was Alaska. And then I thought about it, that's just a lack of options. I'm a big, like I said, I love reading the news, and I love the weird and wacky stuff that kind of shows up. It wasn't that long ago, well, I guess it was that a while ago now that I think about it. I've been telling this joke for a bit. But the United States got a panda from China. Now, if anybody's familiar with what kind of honor that is, the pandas are rare, right? And to get a panda for a local zoo is a huge, huge thing. But this panda came with a huge list of instructions for American zookeepers and people who took care of the panda. And I remember reading through the list, and the thing that jumped out at me was, only Chinese zookeepers can impregnate this panda. Only Chinese zookeepers can impregnate this panda. Now I'm thinking that's a translation issue, but it is the States. Black, white, you know, who knows what happens there. Oh, man. So I'm a grandfather. I have two wonderful grandchildren. One is 17 and one is 13. I have two wonderful nieces. One is 13, one is 9. And I work from home, so I have an immense amount of flexibility, which means I'm lucky in some ways. I get to spend time with them. It also means I have to go to things like their Christmas concerts, school concerts, choir concerts, and band concerts. Thank you for the groan. You get it. Okay? When I die, and I show up, and there's that judgment day, I'm already in. All right? I have gone to elementary school band concerts. And if you've never been to one, let me paint the picture for you. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in a gym that has no air conditioning. That you has, all morning, it's had little sweaty kids running around in it. And then they load it up with chairs, and big old sweaty parents come in and sit there. And it's packed. And you walk in and it smells like a teenager's armpit. And you sit down, and you can't see the stage because there's no risers, the kids are short, and people are in front of you, and they're holding their phones up like this. So you know what's happening, right? And I'm there, and I'm doing what I can, and the kid's looking for me. And my niece's school, at their band concert, had a hearing interpreter, like an ASL signing interpreter. So obviously there was a deaf parent in the crowd. I have never been more jealous in my life. And it made me think about, you know, when somebody has something that you want, or somebody gets something, and you're jealous of what they wanted, because like, you love it. My neighbor got a new car, beautiful car. Absolutely spectacular, little sporty thing. He's going through his second midlife crisis, third wife, that kind of stuff. But that car is like spectacular. Okay? Down the road, I've got a guy who's a techno junkie. He bought an automatic lawnmower, like a Roomba for his lawn. He said, yeah, it's nice. I'm like, oh. Right? I just sat out there with a lawn chair with him. We just watched it go. Because we're old that way. And I'm like, man, I never thought I would be jealous of somebody until another friend of mine got put on the autism spectrum. He got autism. Man, talk about a free pass. Right? He could be in a room, he could say anything he wants, and people goes, oh, it's just a spectrum.
Elon Musk.
Or somebody with Tourette's, exactly. So, like, welcome to a comedy show. Which part of the spectrum are you? Oh, forget it. I'm not going to go there. Oh man, it's a tough time. I mean, it's Pride Month, and I'm not gonna. Oh shoot, I totally forgot something. I'm so sorry. Land acknowledgement. I got to get this out of the way. So I want to recognize that we're standing here on Treaty 6, the home of the Dakota, Lakota, Cree, and the traditional lands of the Métis people. I think reconciliation is huge and important. I believe in it. I myself went to a sweat lodge recently. You may notice Montana's all-you-can-eat ribs. But I sweat, and so that's kind of the way that goes. But it's important. Like, it's important to be proud of who you are and where you come from, and really be excited about your faith and background. I'm not embarrassed to say I'm Jewish. It's who I am and where I come from, and I'm very proud of that. But it's a tough time right now in Canada to be a Jew. Okay, anti-Semitism is like wild. It's all over the place. It's ridiculously over the top. And I guess maybe just to be safe, before I go on any further with this one, are there any anti-Semites in the room? If you are, just raise your hand. Okay, you know how. No, we're good? Okay. And the thing about that is, like I said, I'm really proud to be a Jew, but there's always been that libel, that blame, right? We run the banks, we do this. I mean, I'm standing in front of you in Fashion by Kirkland. That should tell you a lot about my finances. But here's the thing, right? And the big libel is Jews killed Christ. And I want to let you in on a little secret. We did. But everybody was Jewish back then. Okay? It was really just a Jew-on-Jew crime, not a big deal. And I guess if you're going to be mad at me for killing Christ, could you at least find it in your heart to thank me for the long weekend that goes with it? Okay, you're dark. I like this. We can go with that. How much time do I have? Oh, you got another couple minutes. I can tease around. Do you mind if we go a little bit darker? Sure. You guys are like, sure. You guys are like, I'm eating. Leave me alone. So I decided it would be fun to do some renovations in the house. And I did this little 10 by 10 bathroom. It's probably the size of this little thing here, a little stage. And I punched into the very first wall and I discovered asbestos. Yeah, now anybody who groans, what is asbestos?
Bad news.
Bad news, thank you. It came from my wife, so that's always good. So asbestos is this insulation they used to use in the 60s, and if you breathe it in, it causes cancer. Now the problem is you can't get rid of it yourself. You have to get a specialized company to come in and do it. And it costs like $10,000 to do a little space like this. They set up a little hazmat area and whatever. Do I look like I have $10,000? Be honest. No, thank you. I appreciate that. You're not going to hurt my feelings by that. Like I said, Fashion by Kirkland. I'm good to go. But the other thing is, I really don't want cancer. But I don't have $10,000. I have to get rid of the asbestos. But I can't do it myself. I don't have $10,000. Wait a minute. I'm just going to hire people who already have cancer. Now, before you think I'm a monster, I'm not going to hire people with a chance of recovery. I'm going to get those end-stage people, right? The people who are lying in the ward, drooling, begging for death. And I'm going to give them a purpose and a hammer. And they're going to come and they're going to beat on the wall, they can puke on the floor, it'll be fine. I'm not going to bother with safety equipment, that's just redundant. And for those little parts in the back that I just can't get to, I'll just swing by Ronald McDonald House on the way home. You said I could go dark. Okay, let me uplift you to take you out of here. Yeah, thank you. Well, the front row is ready to go. Okay, like I said, I have a 13-year-old granddaughter and I coach her basketball, which is so much fun to do. But I don't speak teenager. I used to, years ago, speak teenager. But teenagers nowadays, totally different dialect. Totally don't get it. Don't get their songs, don't get their language, but I want to be the cool grandpa So I let my granddaughter Lily, connect her phone to the car stereo. Hooked up, whatever. She's playing this song, they're cranking out Katy Perry, I'm loving this, I'm singing along with them, we're having a good time, and then this song comes on that is skank. It is nasty, it is rude, there are words coming out of this 13-year-old mouth that I won't even say. But I don't want to be that grandma that goes, oh, shut that off. But I don't want to hear it anymore. So I said to Lily, I said, what is this song? And she points at the screen and I go, oh, I gotta download that so I can twerk for grandma. Click, it's gone. You think that's the end of it. But no. 13-year-olds have the memory of a goldfish. I'm driving to a game next week. The playlist comes on again. All of a sudden, I hear from the back, that song comes on. I hear from the back, 3 of her friends. One of them screams out, my God, shut it off! I don't want to have that dream again. It's an absolute true story, folks. I'm like, all right, fine. So I'm proud that I've changed behavior. I'm disturbed that a 13-year-old is dreaming of me twerking. Yeah, exactly. All right. Folks, are you ready for your headliner? Well, that was kind of lukewarm. Let's try that again. Are you ready for your headliner? We're getting there. Let's try one thing. Do you really want me to stop telling jokes and get a professional up here? There we go. That's how the way to do it. All right, a little self-deprecation. Folks, Arthur Simeon, you're absolutely going to love him. He is in town to tape The Debaters, but he's also been on Just for Laughs. And he's one of my favorites. I ran into him like 10 years ago. It seems like a lifetime ago. And I still laugh every time I hear him. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. Arthur Simeon. Arthur!
First of all, thank you very much for coming out, and thank you for keeping it a secret. I appreciate it. I am in town to do some work for CBC, and I was like, you know what? They have me working on a Sunday. Saturday, I'm going to book a room and do some stand-up in Saskatoon, because, like I said, I haven't been here in almost 10 years to do a show. And I was like, you know what? I've been on TV a bunch. I'm so famous. It's gonna be easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. Apparently, most of you would rather go to a Rough Riders game. Because the few people I knew in the city, I messaged. I was like, hey, you come to like Rough Riders. And I mean, friendship has ended, yes, but also it tells you where you are in life. But I know I appreciate that you guys came up. I'm really grateful for it. I've forgotten a few things about Saskatoon in the time that I haven't been here. For example, you guys don't get the weather memos the rest of Canada gets, because I packed for summer. Because even though I've lived in this country for a long time, I didn't bother to check the weather. I was like, no, it is mid-June. Most of this country knows what time it is. Do you understand? Like when a World Cup is being played in your country, it means it's warm. Do you understand? It means that they need a hydration break halfway through the half. And if they had played those games in Saskatoon, no need for a hydration break. Do you understand? They would have been nice and cool. I was freezing when I walked in, and I found that surprising because 10 years ago when I was here, I came down to do a one show, and it was a TCU place, and they put me up in the Holiday Inn. And if you're all familiar with your own city, that's across the street from there. And I almost didn't make it. It was across the street. It was 2nd of November. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the day. It was the 2nd day of November and it was minus 31. I was like, who is doing this? How is it that there's buildings here? There should be nothing. There should be nothing here. But I didn't learn my lesson and I came through. I'm very happy to be here, though. I got in yesterday, an already eventful moment in my life. I should also explain, for those of you who don't know anything about me, my name is Arthur. I'm an immigrant to Canada. I was born and raised in Kampala, Uganda. It's a small East African country. Always introduce myself as Ugandan everywhere I go. But there's also pressure. There's also pressure because I feel like I represent an entire continent everywhere I go. You go somewhere, everyone's like, yeah, that's what you guys do. You're like, no, it's just me. Like every other Canadian here, you get to be an individual. You do something dumb, everyone's like, oh, Tom's a dumbass, don't worry about it, okay? Jessica, she's an idiot, don't worry about it, okay? I do something dumb, everyone's like, Africans. You're like, no. Why? I was talking to a girl the other day, and she's like, well, you African men. I was like, whoa, you can't say that. You can't put all of us in the same boat. Again, thank you, that's my favorite joke. But it's already eventful because I land, and you guys are familiar with your own airport, right? I'm standing, it's the slowest carousel of luggage. As I checked the bag, it's the slowest one I've never seen. I didn't even know they had that setting, right? Like, I didn't even know, because in every other airport, the bags are moving, you know, the bags are moving. You guys are like, nah. And then they come out one by one. It's like there's one guy just running to the plane, climbing up, grabbing the suitcase, and then running back, putting it up, and then running back. I'm like, why is there a 5-minute stretch between back? Most airports, you take an entire cart to the plane, you load it with a bunch of suitcases, you drive back, and then you load all of them at the same time onto the thing. Saskatoon, no, Saskatoon's like, no, we got one guy. It's a union job, so you can't lose it. Okay, this guy's started it. Then you're like, oh, but maybe you hire two, but they're like, no, it's just one guy. He just runs, grabs the bag, puts it on the suitcase, right? So it's very slow, the bags are coming out. It took over an hour for a plane, like, it was a full plane, yes, but it took over an hour for us to get all bags. Now, while this is happening, bags are coming out slowly. People are getting frustrated because some people have been traveling from far, and you can see there were families and everything. I'm like, you know, I'm cool. Like, it's Friday, my shows are not till Saturday, I'm good, I'm chilling. And then I see this man, he's done. You understand? He's done with this bullshit Saskatoon system. He climbs onto the carousel. Like, you know the middle part, like where the bugs are coming out, there's this other middle part, and those rubber curtains where the thing. He climbs into that, and he looks inside, and just starts yelling at someone. And I start laughing my ass off. Because I'm like, this is the funniest thing, but I'm also sad because this man was an African man. And I was like, no! You represent all of us. They're all, everyone's like looking at me like, hey, go talk to your dad. I'm like, no! I don't know this man. He was in full Nigerian, and I knew he was Nigerian because I saw his passport. I saw his passport, I was like, oh, I know you. But also thank you for doing that and giving me the first 5 minutes of my stand-up act. It is the most unhinged thing I've ever seen waiting for. I've never seen that before. I didn't even know you could do that, you understand? I kept looking at me like security has to be coming, right? Like there has to be, this man was done. But I also couldn't understand what he wanted to do. Did he want to tell them, because here's the thing, the people loading those bags, they don't know what your bag looks like. They're just loading them. It's like, are you going to get the orange one first? That's mine. Like, what are you yelling to these people that they're going to get your bag to you first? And he did that, and I left him there. I left him there, by the way, which I don't think bodes well for your airport. There might be, I might not be able to leave. The airport might be shut down because of a Nigerian man, people are going to die. It was very eventful. It is good to be back in Saskatoon, though. I do enjoy the travel across Canada, and it's World Cup time. There's a fever across this country. I mean, maybe not so much Saskatoon. That was also a surprise, because like I left Toronto on the first day where Canada was playing. And the streets, everyone was in Team Canada, like, you know, jerseys and everything. Mostly immigrants. We wear the Team Canada stuff because we want you guys to be like, no, we want to stay here, right? And we have to. Yeah, all the immigrants I saw were like, no, Canada. Like, are you Canada? No, from Chile, but Canada, you know, like we get it. We know the assignment. And we understand there's a lot of anti-immigration like rhetoric right now in some of your politics, and we are playing our part. We're like, we're not giving you any excuses, okay? We're gonna wear Team Canada when we're walking around when Team Canada is playing. And there's excitement, and I land in Saskatoon, and I was like, World Cup, and everyone's like, what are you talking about? There's nothing. It's gonna be a fascinating World Cup. No, I enjoy the travel, and it comes at a price. Obviously, you're constantly questioning things that are happening around you, right? Like for me, for example, and I want you guys to join me on this. Round of applause, you've been on a plane. You've been on a plane, okay, we're on a plane. Okay, most of you have seen the inside of a cockpit on your way in or out of a plane, okay? Like there's no way all those buttons work, right? There's no way. You ever look inside, you're like, there's no fucking way. There's no, like I've watched enough movies to know, like I know this one, right? I know this one, I know this one, right? I know there's 2 buttons up here, okay? And there's 2 on the knob, right? On the front of you. Why there are 65 others up here? Why? I think you're just trying to pretend like you've gone to school. Like I think I can do it. In fact, every time I'm leaving a plane, never when I'm getting one because I'm smart, but when I'm leaving, There's nothing I want to do more than rush past the flight attendants and go inside the cockpit and just change everything. Like, ah! And then come out and be like, which one? If you're so smart, figure it out. And then I remember a giant black man, you can't walk around doing white people shit. You get killed. You will get killed for that. But yeah, the African thing of traveling is like the confidence of it. Like when I saw this Nigerian man doing this, I was like, it's always us. And I don't want it to be us, but it's always us. Where the law, like, cause like in the history of pop culture, they always make fun of like Middle Eastern travelers for being terrorists or whatever. We're never gonna get that. We're never gonna get the terrorists or whatever. And if we do, they're gonna do it in some sort of weird, primitive way. What they don't understand is we're still doing things out here in the travel world that we need credit for. Like I want to shoot a TV show where a Nigerian man just walks through the curtains of the luggage carousel and starts yelling at people. I don't care about you, that's hilarious to me. I didn't even know you could do that. I was like, I never thought of that in all my years of traveling to go through those wrong. I didn't even know, I thought you could, your hand could get shredded going through that. Do you understand? I didn't even know. I read a story, I was talking about like news, I'm a bit of a news junkie myself. One of my favorite stories this year, I don't know if you guys remember, a few months ago, someone was stopped at the Canadian airport with 22 kilograms of red meat in their suitcase. 22 kilograms of red meat. And the moment I read the headline, I was like, please don't be African, please. Because I know how my Congolese people travel. I'm like, don't. And then they're like, this Egyptian man. I was like, ah! It's one of us. One of us. And they said, this man was stopped because the security dogs in the airport sniffed him out. And I was like, come on, man, we're not going to give the dogs the credit on this one. That was 22 kilograms of red meat that came from Cairo. Everyone sniffed him out. You understand? Even the one guy in Saskatoon who does the luggages would have been like, oh, there's something dead in here. There's something dead. Have you ever left red meat out at room temperature? It takes all of 30 minutes before your entire fucking house smells like a garbage bin. This man had been through the Cairo heat. Just the Cairo heat alone, in a suitcase, getting into your trunk of the car, driving to the airport. By the time to get to, that's already biohazard. Do you understand? That's already, and then put on a plane for at least a minimum of 20 hours. Okay? Because there's transit time, there's all these things. You land and you go in, and they were like, oh, the dogs. I'm like, no, everyone sniffed him out. But I didn't put his name in there. But I want to meet this man. He's an inspiration. Because I need to have, I have questions. But was he talking to his Egyptian friends in Canada? And they were like, yo, Canada? Amazing. Everything is so good except the meat sucks. The meat sucks. And this guy was like, say less. Don't worry about it. I'm going to hook everyone up. Don't worry about it. I'm coming up loaded. I'm coming in loaded. And then he had to walk outside the airport and be like, man, the fucking dog. I don't even know how he knew. I don't even know. They have a fucking dog there with just an amazing smell. That's the second most confident person I've ever seen traveling. I'll tell you about the most confident one later. We'll get into, I enjoy, so this job involves, a bit of travel and everything, and I enjoy it. And I like to book the emergency exit row seats in economy when I fly. Or as I like to call it, first class for peasants. Because you have the leg room of first class, but you're still surrounded by poor people, right? And the way the airlines do it, they'll let me on first. They'll be like, no, you can get on. And when everyone else is getting on, I'm like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm $47 better than, like I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not in business class yet, thanks CBC. But I'm $47 closer than the rest of you poor people, right? So I'm on this flight, I have my legs stretched out because I have the room, right? 10 minutes in, flight attendant walks up to me and goes, excuse me, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to retract your legs. I was like, what? She's like, I'm gonna have to ask. I'm like, no, I heard what you said, I just don't understand why. She's like, well, you're sitting in the emergency exit row. If we need to use the emergency exit, your legs will be blocking the rest of the passengers. Yeah, thank you, I laughed as well. Because I don't think you know how emergency exits work. Because if we need to use that, these legs will be the first through that exit. These legs are attached to these arms that are going to 100% up in that exit. In case I won't even wait for you guys to tell me. The moment I feel the right kind of turbulence, I'm calling it for the group. Do you understand? You give me a whole speech at the beginning of the flight. I'm the captain now. Like, I will decide. What do you mean my legs are blocking? What has happened on this flight that everyone else is trying to jump over me? And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead. No, I'll meet you downstairs. I'll meet you downstairs. Pay $47 extra. I'm going to see where this goes. I'm going to enjoy the sit a bit longer, you know? I'm going to see. My whole family is still in Uganda, and I try and see them as often as I can. Trying to go at least once a year. And my friends always ask me, what's your favorite part about getting to travel, to go home? And they always assume it's like the food, or the weather, or seeing my family. None of those things. My favorite part is going to Pearson International Airport in Toronto, where I live, and trying to figure out which Canadians are flying to Africa for the first time. That's my favorite part of the whole trip. Because only two kinds of Canadians, the ones who have been to Africa before and the ones who are going for the first time. And it's easy to tell the difference, okay? Because the ones who have been before are dressed, how can I put this? Normally, okay? Like normal people about to take a long flight. Maybe a hoodie and some sweatpants, some comfortable clothing. You're chilling, okay? The ones who are going for the first time can best be described as Indiana Jones. Raided a Bass Pro Show and a U.S. military site on the way to the airport. Like, what the fuck are you wearing? Why is everything you're wearing waterproof? Where do you think you're going? Do you think the plane hovers over a swamp and they just kick a truck door open like, yeah, welcome to Africa? Why are you wearing a tactical vest? Where do you think you're going? American high school? Like, what is happening here? Oh, too soon? Okay. No, I love it. I discovered a new trip. So usually when you fly, you either go through Europe or the Middle East, right? Because those are the airlines that were available. You take like KLM, you go through Amsterdam, you take British Airways, you go through Heathrow, you take like Emirates or you know, whatever, you go through the Middle East. And then recently, in the last few years, Ethiopian Airlines has a flight. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a 13-hour flight, Toronto to Addis Ababa, and it's amazing. Because then from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia to Uganda is 2 hours and change. I get home in less than 24 hours, which I'd never been able to do before. And I was excited. I was on a tight deadline. I was going home at Christmas. It was a few days before Christmas. I was like, yes, this is perfect. I left on a Monday morning, and I'll be there by Tuesday morning. It was perfect. I was like, yes, sign me up. And the plane is full of other Africans, because, you know, some people have visa issues with Europe. You know, like we skip all of that. We're going straight to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. And it's an experience. I would never recommend it for anyone, but I would also recommend it for everyone. It is quite an experience getting to an airport, international airport, because that is what Addis Ababa International Airport is, and thinking you're in a farmer's market at the same time. Like it's quite an experience, but I love it. So it's a 13-hour flight, direct Toronto, Addis Ababa. It's a very long flight. But, so I'm on this flight, and it's full of, I'd say 85% other African countries, Sudanese, Ugandans, Ghanaians, Nigerians, all on this flight, but also a few Canadians, like white Canadians who are going to visit, who have also discovered this flight. And I bring this up because we're on this flight, and about, you know, it's a 13-hour flight, about 12 hours in, we're about to land. Pilot gets on the microphone, like, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be landing in Addis Ababa in about 27 minutes. Local time will be 7:37 a.m. Local temperature will be 25 degrees when we land. After we've landed and we're taxiing to the terminal, you can all resume using your electronic devices, like CD players. Yes, this was last year at Christmas. This was 2025. And this man said CD players. And I was like, come on, man, there's white people on the flight. You understand? You're embarrassing us. They might think we're still using CD players out here. Also, you mean to tell me we've been on this plane for almost 13 hours and it could be affected by CD players? I'm like, oh, we're not going to make it. I tell to everyone who has the waterproof stuff, I'm like, do you have extra? Do you have extra waterproof things? I'm sorry I made fun of you at the beginning of the flight. We're not going to make it. I love going home because the thing about being an immigrant, round of applause if you're an immigrant in the audience, okay? If you don't mind me asking, where are you from? Italy. And Philippines, you said? Okay. Zimbabwe, you? And then? Ghana, okay. So we have a couple of Africans. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm sure you guys all feel this thing where, while you've been here for a while, you kind of forget. You forget what makes you from Zimbabwe, like you forget what makes you part of that, because you sort of get embedded into Ghana, and sometimes you forget. And so going home is almost a reminder. And for me, going to Uganda is always a reminder of what I love about being Uganda, about having grown up there. And it's the fact that we're the most delusional people on the planet. Uganda's the most delusional, and I love it. I always forget about it, and then I show up, I'm like, that's right, that's why I love us, okay? Because I'm delusional too, but I forget it. When I'm among you guys, you mock me for my delusions. When I go to Uganda, everyone's like, yeah, he's home, he's delusional. And I'll give you the perfect example, the level of delusion that the Ugandans have. So I have a big extended family, okay? My mom has 14 siblings. All of them have children. So on my mom's side alone, I have over 100 first cousins, okay? This is a true story. So, and I grew up with all of them, we're close, I knew all of them growing up. So when I'm home, I try and see as many of them as I can. I have maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month to catch up with everyone, not nearly enough time if you're doing the math. But one of them, I was trying to get a hold of. We're 3 months apart in age, we grew up together, we're really close, and I kept calling him and he wasn't picking up the phone. And so I asked my family, I was like, yo, what's going on with my cousin Raymond? They were like, oh, your cousin Raymond. He joined this criminal gang in the city that goes around stealing cars. So he's a bit estranged from the family. And I was shocked. I was stunned to hear this. Because my cousin Raymond doesn't know how to drive. He doesn't know how to drive. I'm like, what kind of gang is this? They didn't ask some basic questions before letting this loser join them. Do you understand? What is he doing for, like, making sandwiches before the heist? Like, you did it! Showing up as a hype man, like, yay, that was quick! And then jumping in the backseat. But I love it. We grew up together, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call him. You know? So I call him, nothing. And then finally I use my sister's phone. I call him, he finally picks up. I'm like, yo, it's Arthur, I'm in town, I would love to catch up. And he goes, yes, let's do that. Let's go have dinner, let's catch up. And then he goes, wait, are you the North American number that's been calling me? I was like, yes, Raymond, that was me trying to get a hold of you. He goes, oh man, I'm so sorry. I didn't pick up because I thought it was the FBI. The FBI. I was like, Ray, I don't mean to shit on your chosen profession. I don't think the FBI are looking for you. I don't think it was domestic terrorists in the United States and then car thieves in Uganda who don't even know how to drive. What do you mean you thought it was the FBI? Also, in your mind, you thought the FBI would just stop at missed calls. Like, that is the extent. Just a bunch of FBI agents sitting around being like, I don't know how he does it. I don't know. We called him 10 times. He didn't pick up once. We don't want to... I said, Raymond, I will tell you this. I've watched enough movies and television. The FBI don't call ahead. You understand? It's like, is this Raymond? Yeah, we're coming. We're coming. You stay right where you are. We'll be there in 26 hours. We have our CD players. Everything is waterproof. We're coming. The culture is different. Culture is different. Ugandans also don't care about your technology. You guys are making all these moves in tech, making the world, you know, move faster and smoother. Ugandans are like, nah. I'll give you the perfect example. Last year, I used Uber for the first time in Uganda, right? You guys, I'm sure when you travel, usually I don't need like taxis or cars because I have so many people around me. Again, 100 first cousins, so there's always someone to drive me somewhere, right? Or my mom's car, I could borrow my mom's car. So I'd never used Uber before. In all the 10 years I've had the app on my phone, never once had to use it in Uganda until last year. I was in a bit of, because I said, oh, there's Uber here, I'm gonna use an Uber, okay? So I called an Uber, okay? And I had the experience of a lifetime. Because you guys are familiar with rideshare apps. It's a very simple process. You sign up, right? And then when you put up your phone, you go, I'm here, and I wanna go here, right? And it gets you a driver shows up, they verify your identity, and then off you go. Simple. Not in Uganda. First thing that happens, my driver calls me. Didn't even know that was a thing. Usually you get a message being like, I've arrived. Nice guy was like, no, right? I didn't even know that the app you could call. I was like, holy shit, Uber is calling me. What is happening, right? So in my mind, I'm freaking out that like, oh, he's using it in Uganda for the first time. They want to like verify that I'm not like being hacked or something. I'm thinking it's Uber headquarters calling because again, delusion. I'm delusional. I'm like, the people upstairs are caring about me. You know, it's just my driver. I pick up, he goes, hey, are you Arthur? I'm like, yes. He's like, where are you? We've already done that. The whole point of the app is to tell you exactly where I am. If you look at where the door to drive to that thing. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe he has a busted phone screen and just trying to make some money to replace his phone. I'm not gonna like mock this man. So I was like, you know what? This is where I am. He goes, you're very far. Yes. And I would like to get near. That is why I'm calling you. That is the whole point. And then he goes, can you get another Uber to come here? I'm like, this is not a negotiation. Also, I don't know if you know how the app works. I can call another ride while I'm on the ride, sir. Different breed. I love it though. Just do things differently. Okay? Fly back. Spend some time with families. I flew back. And then you get, you're in Canada. And I still fly with my Ugandan passport, I'm trying. It's one of the most useless passports in the world. I don't know about the Philippine passports, I don't know the Italian passport, I think you're going through the EU. Ghana, you need a visa to come to Canada, right? Yeah? And you need a visa. I know for a fact you need to get a visa. Probably the only passport that's worse than the Ugandan one is yours. Because here's the thing, if you have an African passport, as these people will attest, it's a life that you guys don't understand. The people don't understand. Because they go like, what are you fighting for to get this Canadian? You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. Like, round of applause if you've only ever had a Canadian passport. If you're in this room, okay. I can smell the privilege. I can smell the privilege. And I can always tell you people. And when I say you people, I mean American passports, British passports, Canadian passports. Because you know why? It's the way you walk from the plane to immigration and customs. When you travel internationally, there's a different walk for Canadians when you're traveling because there's a confidence. You know what's going to happen at the end of that line. Do you understand? You're going to get there, they're going to be like, where are you coming from? You're going to be like, Canada. They'll be like, oh, enjoy yourself. And you just marching through. That's why your walk is different. It's full of confidence. You guys are already creating content, being like, oh, shit, just landed. That's confidence. Not Zimbabwe, no. Now you can't, ooh. Even if your paperwork is straight, you're still just shuffling. You're just like, you're just looking down. You're taking as long as it takes from the plane to, it doesn't matter. It could be a 5-minute walk, 50, it's still gonna take you an hour. Just be like, okay, I don't have any drugs, I don't have any guns, I don't have any drugs, I don't have any guns. When you apply for visas, when you meet an immigration officer, you always have a story to tell that for no reason. No reason. Most of you if you show up anywhere in the world, you go to the Philippines, you go to Uganda, it doesn't matter. You show up, you're like, yo, you here to visit? I've never been. Come here and have a good time. Okay, and I'm gonna be like, enjoy yourself. Not me. Everywhere I go, I need to prepare a story. Okay? When I was 3 years old, my mom asked me to lift the couch with her. She said, one day you too will be able to go to Belgium. When I was 7 years old, I did really well on a math thing. My mom said, you know what? Italy will be a great place for you to visit. And that's why you see me standing here in front of you today, immigration officer. Can I please come? You have to have a story. And they always stare at me like I didn't need any of that. I just needed to see. It's a different life that you guys don't understand. When I grew up, and when most of you grew up, in the Canadian, when you grew up, for example, sci-fi, fantasy, science fiction, was, aliens, space travel, Middle Earth, all that stuff. No. For me, sci-fi fantasy was any movie or television show where someone ran to the airport and when the love of my life just left for Paris, and I would like to get to Paris to save my relationship. And they were like, oh my goodness, go get them. And then they just gave them a ticket, and they just run to the gates, and they were like, go get them. And I'm like, when did they get the visa? When did they get the visa? Do you understand? Like, as a Ugandan, if your lover flies off to France, that relationship is over. Do you understand? There's no amount of crying at the airport. You're like, my love, sorry, show us the visa. Which is true, by the way. Like, if you're flying from like I'll give you, that's the experience that I have. If you're flying again to come to Canada, the airline asks you for your paperwork. Do you understand? It's not an immigration officer. Even the airline is like, no, we're not going to waste our time taking you and just bring you back. Can you please show us your visa? Meanwhile, Canadians are just running, being like, I would like to go to Luxembourg because my lover is there. Not for me, no. If you want to escape, just run to another country I don't have a visa for. I'm like, yeah, you're going. I can't do anything. That relationship is done. But I love that because I went to Mexico for the first time last year, right? Very excited. I've never been, and I'm very excited. I'm traveling to Mexico. We land, going to Cancun. I land in Cancun, get to the airport. I don't know how many of you have been, but if you have, you know this. You get there and there's two immigration lines. One line says Mexicans, Canadians, Americans. We'll go that way. Every other passport, go that way. I was an Air Canada flight full of Canadians, just me and one other guy. We went that way, okay? Everyone else, just, like the confidence, right? Just, oh, Cancun, baby. It's me and this guy just being, I don't have any guns, I don't have any drugs, I don't have any drugs. But because there's only two of us, when we get to the front, there's already two immigration officers waiting. So he gets one, I get one, immediately. It's a lovely lady. She's like, this your first time in Mexico? I was like, yes. She's like, how long will you be here? I was like, a week. She's like, have fun. Stamps, moves on. It took less than 20 seconds. I've never felt more white in my life. I was like, yeah! I saw all the Canadians who were still in line, because there's like 200 of them lining up. I was like, how does it feel, bitch? Like, how does it? Like that. The privilege just came out of me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come to Mexico for the rest of my life. I wanna do this every single time. Never land. I'll be taking you Uganda passport every single time. I loved it though. A different story when you go to America though. Because I managed to get my American work permit in time for the trade war. And which is a fucked up thing, to fight with your neighbor. But I love it. I love that everything that's happening in America and Canada right now is giving Canadians the real African experience. Do you understand? Like that's what I love about Trump. There's a lot of people are anti-Trump, and whatever you say, for good reason. For me, I am pro-Trump because Trump is the first African president. People thought it was Barack Obama. It wasn't. This man got into office, immediately started fights with his neighbors. That is the most African president thing that you can do. As soon as you get in the chair, you're like, fuck you, Canada, fuck you, Mexico, come at me, bro. I'm like, yes, now you guys know what we've been going through the whole time. This man has used that chair to enrich him and his families. That is the most African president thing you could ever do. Just yelling. This man has just started wars for no reason. Just waking up in the morning and be like, you know what? Fuck you, Iran. Shoot them. African president shit. Do you understand? Like, I'm so proud of him. I'm like, oh man, I can't. He's trying to change the law so he can rule forever. African president shit. Zimbabwe, you gotta know what we're talking about. I'm telling you, he's the most Ugandan president I've ever seen in my life. And so for me, Mugabe is like, I just love it. I love it because I'm like, the Canadians and Americans are like, what is happening? And I'm like, I could give you a lesson. I could walk you through it all. It's very simple, actually. But yeah, so going to America, different case for me. Because I show up, my Uganda passport. First question is simple. We all get it. What brings you to the US? Second question for me, do you have Ebola? No, I don't. Third question, have you ever had Ebola? No, I don't think you know how it works, okay? Ebola is a pretty final thing to get, okay? A lot of Ugandans walking around reminiscing about that one time. But I can't mouth off to US law enforcement. They shoot black people in the face for fun. So instead I have to be like, not that I can remember. I used to love it though, because we have, do I need a visa to go to Ghana? I don't think so, right? Like other African countries can just show up. Do you know? Do you have this information? You have no idea. Do you need a visa to go to other Africa? Have you visited any other, do you have a Ghanaian passport? Did you ever have one?
Maybe. I can
Oh, so you're lying to us. This whole time you're sitting there with the same privilege, pretending you knew what I was talking about. You don't know this. You know what? Find them. Find this person. Get them. Police. Liar. But so you grew up here?
Yeah.
Nice. You have a Canadian passport?
Yeah.
Can I borrow it for a second? No, I'll bring it back, I promise. I just need to go to Paris. No, it's a privilege, but I understand. And I love it. I love the politics of it. But it makes life interesting because it means you treasure the journeys, because I think Canadians take that privilege for granted. You go around, we don't, right? And that's why when we land in some places and the luggage is taking long, you just go through what? I'm just gonna find out. Hey, I need a visa to bring my bag, bring. I don't know why you guys don't find this fascinating. I don't know if you had to see it. Have you ever been waiting for luggage and just one person peels off and it's like, I'm just gonna go into the back and see, talk to a manager. It's the most Nigerian thing I've ever seen in my life. I told you guys, and I know a lot of this is a travel theme, that's my life. But also, I'm working on something, it's gonna be a whole thing. We're gonna try it together. It's gonna be a long show, don't worry about it. I know, I love the stress, the anxiety, because none of us are normal at airports, okay? There's so much anxiety now. With the security, for us who need visas to go, there's so much anxiety going into this. So none of us know. The moment we walk through those doors, something happens to us, right? Like everyone in this room, most of us are just, there's a bit of anxiety, a bit of a discomfort when you get to an airport. You're like, oh man, is my luggage, the weight, and all this thing, and I check in and all this. You have to pay for everything now. You have to pay for your seat, pay for your luggage. And that's why when I see people who are flustered, I get it. I understand that. You ever see someone that going through security and they're like, oh, empty your pockets, and they're like, where are the pockets? You're like, on you, they're on you. I understand this, but the people I don't understand are the ones who are supremely confident, who are just themselves. So I told you the guy who put the 20 kilograms is the second most confident person I've seen in the airport, okay? Third most confident person is a Nigerian man I saw yesterday. It's a kitchen airport. I'm gonna add him to the list because I love that a lot. Number one happened in this very country. I was flying from Halifax to Toronto, okay? It was an early morning flight, okay? So it was like a 9 a.m. flight, so I was at the airport at like 6:30 a.m. It was very early in the morning. And this is important because we get to the airport, and you know how security is, right? You're going through, you're gonna empty your pockets, put stuff in bins, so they go through the x-ray, you're gonna go through the metal detector. There's a guy ahead of me, there's me, and two ladies behind me, and we all go through. When we get to the other side, all of our carry-on luggage has been selected for secondary screening. All four of us. Our luggage has been selected for secondary screening. They're gonna go through it manually. All right, whatever. It's just one lady doing it. She's a young lady, probably in her 20s, probably her third shift ever. She has no idea how life is about to change. Do you understand? She has no idea, okay? She has no idea that all of our lives are about to change. Because, we're all waiting in line. Finally, they get to the guy ahead of me, okay? She goes, she points to his bag. She goes, whose is this? The guy goes, that's me. She goes, please, come to the front. She pulls him up, and she goes, do you mind if I open this? And he looks at it and goes, no, go ahead, please open it. It's open. It's a classic hard case carry-on suitcase that most of you have seen. She unzips the thing and opens it, and the whole suitcase, and I'm not exaggerating, the entire suitcase was filled with sex toys, okay? It was sex toys, yes. The entire suitcase was dildos and beads, things with feathers on them. It was all, and I'm like tall enough to see everything inside. I'm like, holy shit. And the woman was like, sir, please step back. I'm like, don't mind me. I'm just learning. You do your job. I'm just here to learn. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I've never seen anything like that. And immediately I was like, this is the most confident man on the planet. Do you understand? Because he knew the contents of that suitcase and was still like, yeah, that's mine. Would never be me. Do you understand? It would never be. Like the moment you went to the other side, I'd be like, yeah, that suitcase now belongs to the airport. Do you understand? There's no way. We're like, who's this? I don't know, okay? But this man was like, no, that's me, very confident. And this woman is pulling out, and it's clearly for personal use, because some of them are just loose, okay? Some of them in Ziploc bags, right? It's like, yeah. I had to see it, okay? Fuck off. So she's pulling out things, and that's when I realized I'm a prude, because I'm watching this being like, this is incredible. Okay, this is incredible. She's pulling out things, and I turn around to the two ladies who are behind me, who we have never met. We're just strangers traveling on the same flight, and I turned to them and I went, this is the greatest day of our lives, right? They were like, yeah, this is the greatest day. So she's going through the bag, and she's pulling out sex toys, and she pulls out a paddle. Now, I don't know how many of you are of the lifestyle. I am not. I had never seen one before, but I knew exactly what it was, okay? It looks like the metal detector they use at stadiums or like concert venues, but instead this time for a party, right? You know. And so she pulls that out, and she goes, what is this? I'm like, bitch, you know what that is. Even if you've never seen one, look at everything else in that suitcase. It's not for table tennis. Do you understand? It's not. And this man was like, it's a paddle. And I was like, yes, I recognize that already, sir. And she immediately drops it. I'm like, yeah, you're glad you're wearing gloves, right? That's why they make people at the airport wear gloves when they go through your bag. I now realize that now. And so she goes, I don't think I can let you on the plane with this. I'm going to call supervisor. Yes. So now they hold up the line while they go find someone higher up in the hierarchy to figure out, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then because they're holding up the line, they turn to the three of us who are standing behind this man, and they go, hey, if you guys want to go to another line, we're absolutely going nowhere. You understand? We formed the fastest union in the history. We were like, he is us and we are him. We're not moving. I'm like, I don't even care about my flight anymore. Do you understand? I want to know how this ends. This is all I care about right now. I will live in this airport until this is done, okay? So they go get the supervisor. The supervisor comes downstairs, okay? It's a guy in a suit, and they start having a meeting. And they grab the pack, and they start swab. You know the swab they have at the airport? I'm like, do not swab this thing. Don't swab. Your computer is going to crash. Your computer is going to crash. There's diseases in there you haven't seen in millennia. Do not swab that thing. And I'm like, what is this meeting about? Do they think this is some sort of weapon? Some advanced weapon he's going to use when he gets on the plane? What are they so scared? Like he's going to get on the plane and like submit the pilots into flying him to Eastern Europe or something? Like, we're going to Russia now. Like, what are you talking about? Because that's not the weapon in the bag. There's a 3-pronged dildo. Ask him about the 3-pronged dildo. That's the fucking weapon in the suitcase. Ask him about the 3-pronged dildo is what I kept screaming. Because that's a fucking weapon. I don't care who you are. You walk into the pilot's cockpit with a 3-pronged dildo, they're going to fly you anywhere you want to go. If you're like, I want to go to Russia, they're like, yeah, all the buttons are going to work. All the fucking, let's fucking go. Yeah. But they did put everything back. Because you know how they always ask? They always ask you, like, would you like us to pack or you like to pack it again yourself? And then they were like, the girl was like, no, you can put it back. You took it out. You fucking, I was like, yes, that's the confidence I like. Like, no, you touch all of that stuff again. Now, so they put everything back and they let him go. I'm next, and I'm like, yeah, go through my bag. There's nothing remotely as interesting, but go quickly, because I need to go catch up with this man. I need to go. I have some very important, first of all, can he be my mentor? I want this man to be in my life. Secondly, where is his underwear and toiletries? Like there wasn't a stitch of underwear and a toothpaste, not even a toothbrush. Like this man was packing, was like, toothpaste, toothbrush, 3-pronged dildo. Let's go to 3-pronged dildo first. I've never seen anything like that. I'm not exaggerating. There must have been a minimum of 10 dildos in this bag and another like 10 beads of different sizes in this bag. It was incredible, okay? Like the ladies who were behind me, when we got upstairs we met again. Like we had never seen each other. We didn't even know each other's names. And we sat at the table and we're like, what did we just witness? Did we? We're now in a group chat. This man said the friendship is going to last forever. I love it. And then I get on the flight, and something else that had never happened to me in my life happened on this particular flight. I walked and someone was in my seat. And you guys, I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but when you walk into any place that has assigned seating, and there's someone in your seat, we all do the same thing. You do the dramatic look at their ticket. right? Like you walk in and you do the. I did that, 45 seconds, right? Because I'm a professional, okay? So I did that. I looked at this person, I was like, excuse me, that's my seat. And the person looked at me and go, no, you're wrong. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I booked the window seat, that's my seat. And before I could say anything else, the person looked at me and went, no, I know. It gets confusing sometimes. That's how we know it was a white woman, right? So that's how. I just want to like, but you can't go around punching people and flights. So I chose to fight the white woman way. I went to call the manager. In this case, the manager was one of 3 flight attendants. I chose the black woman because I like chaos. I walked over to this beautiful black woman. I was like, excuse me, is this the window seat? She goes, yes. I go, there's someone in my seat. She goes, okay, let's go sort this out together. We walk back to my section. She goes, excuse me, miss, that is this gentleman's seat. And the woman looks at her and goes, no, you're wrong. And I was like, let's fucking go. You just told a black woman at her job she doesn't know what she's doing. Let's fucking go. But the flight is very professional. She's like, no, you don't understand. You have letter C, that's the aisle. This gentleman's letter A, that's the window. And I was like, no, you're wrong. I was like, let's go. Now, because I'm dancing, everyone is staring at us, right? Because this guy must be getting the upgrade of a lifetime. But the flight attendant is, again, very professional, goes full kindergarten teacher. She goes, everyone behind in the row, she goes, everyone behind, are you in the aisle, are you letter C? They were like, yeah. And everyone in the window, are you letter A? They were like, yeah. And I was like, let's fucking go. So now there's peer pressure, because the whole flight is now involved. This woman stands up, looks at me, and goes, do you even want the window seat? I was like, yes. You think I did all of this just to dance around at the beginning? No. I want my fucking window seat. And so she sits in the aisle seat, and I have to remind you, there was a middle seat, B, that was going to be empty for the whole flight. And because I'm petty, it took everything in me not to sit in that middle seat. I put my carry-on in the window seat, right? And the flight attendant looked at me and goes, you can't do that. You can't do that with only 2 black people on the flight. They'll kill us in midair. They'll kill us. And so I sat in the window seat. There's an empty middle seat. And she's in the aisle, and she's still grumbling. She's like, I can't believe it. I'm always in it. And I just reached over. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know it gets confusing sometimes. And then I stayed awake. All the cutlery was metal. Did not want stabbed in the eye. Phenomenal. On my timer for most of the hour that I wanted to know about the travel and stuff. And you guys were very polite. You liked some of it you hated. But I'm going to bring it back. I don't care. You guys are not going to intimidate me. You like Cousin Raymond? That was a good one. I'll talk about my American thing, and then we'll move into a bunch of dumb stuff. I went to America. I've been going to America a lot. Not for my career. I've given up on that, as you can tell. So stupid. I went to Los Angeles because I want to talk to movie executives. Because I'm tired of the disrespect Africans get in movies. The rest of you will never notice this. For us, it's bullshit, okay? I'll give you the perfect example. You know, every time they make those apocalyptic movies, something is going to end the world. It's some sort of like natural disaster or alien invasion. Something is coming to eliminate everything on this earth. But don't worry, America is going to save us, okay? America is on it, okay? It's always going to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's going to be a Navy SEAL, but also a kindergarten teacher and a biochemist. He's going to figure it out. He's going to figure it out on behalf of all of us. And they're going to save it. And every time they make these movies, they have to let you, the audience, know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not just saving America, he's saving the world. And the way they do that is by showing you this alien invasion or natural disaster affecting the world at the beginning. This sweeping montage. They always start in Europe. They show you the Eiffel Tower. And even if you've never been, you're like, oh, that's Paris, the French are getting fucked. Oh no. And they show you the Sydney Opera House. Even if you've never been, you're like, oh, Australia, oh my goodness, Australians are in trouble. And they show you the Hollywood sign. Even if you've never been, you're like, oh, I know that's Los Angeles. Oh no, America. Then they show you a bunch of naked black people in dirt. Not a single landmark in sight, just a bunch of dusty, naked black people. And all of you are like, oh, Africans. I'm like, no! That could be Detroit. Leave us out of this. Like, why? Why are we butt naked, but we're also watching satellite television of Dwayne The Rock Johnson saving the planet? Like, what? You don't think one person would be like, hey, before we get a TV, maybe some pants? The other thing that I hate is the accent. Every time they make Americans do African accents, just this random accent. And it sounds painful. And when they do that, they feel like they've got away something, like, yeah, get an Oscar. Meanwhile, Africans are like, which country was this man from? Because Ghanaians, Zimbabweans, and Ugandans sound very different if you're talking to them, but Americans are like, we don't care. We're just putting you in the movie. And so when they do this stuff, and they ask like, you know, how do you feel about, I can remember like one of the worst experiences, no, I shouldn't say worst experiences, because that's a bit hyperbolic. Black Panther was a tough time to be an entertainer. Because everywhere I went, people were like, yo, Black Panther, right? Finally. One for you. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? One time, I finished the show, and a woman came up to me, and she's like, hey, where do you say you were from? I was like, oh, Uganda. She goes, what's that Marvel movie? And I was like, no, if we're going to play this game, we're going to play the game. So I looked at her, I was like, what Marvel movie? And she's like, you know. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. She's like, no, you know. I was like, no, I don't. She's like, you know the one with the guy that died? And I was like, oh, someone dies in every Marvel movie. You're going to have to be more specific. Is it Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Black Widow? And she's like, oh, you're onto me. She's like, Black Panther. I was like, all right, I've seen that one too. She goes, where are they from? She goes, Wakanda. So I go, Wakanda. She goes, oh, how far is that from Uganda? I was like, oh. Do you think you're watching a documentary the whole time? So I'm getting angry, and the community was like, no, don't ruin this for us. So I looked at her, I was like, oh, actually, Wakanda is right next to Uganda. That's why they sound the same. That's how we name African countries. And she goes, I knew it! And she just walked away all confident, and I walked away all confident because I had a new 2-minute bit. It's a win-win. It's a win-win situation. I do love this show. I love everything that comes with it. Even when times people are like, we're going to go to the Rough Riders game instead of proceeding. But I'm genuinely appreciative that you guys took the time out on a Saturday. There's so many things happening. The World Cup is happening. The NBA is happening. And you guys took time out to come out today. I see a lot of couples too. A few couples. How are you both from Zimbabwe? Yeah. Okay. How long have you been here?
Since 2011.
2011? Okay, so you've been here a while. And did you start in Saskatoon?
No.
Okay. In Toronto, okay. And then you were like, let's go where actually our money will actually make sense. Yeah. Exactly. No, I get it. We're paying, so if you see like the tables that you guys have, those are our apartments right now. We pay $4,000 a week for that. That's how Toronto rolls. I know, I appreciate that. So are you both from Harar?
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's a very sensitive question. And I'm sorry I'm asking this in public. How is the currency situation happening?
You don't even understand.
It's actually not bad, but you know.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, this is a very fun fact. I know, and you guys are like, don't put our business in the streets. I wouldn't if it wasn't so funny. Ghana is laughing as well, because they know what's happening. If you are not familiar, Zimbabwe is one of those very special countries where at some point, the currency just went, fuck it, we're not doing anything anymore. They had billion-dollar notes. Trillion. $1 trillion notes, which I paid someone to bring back for me because I have a Zimbabwean friend in Toronto. I was like, I need this as a gag. And they sent it to me, but I had just the one. So which is illegal in most places, is reprinting, like, like copying money or whatever. But I did that, and every 6 months would send it to my friend and be like, here's your allowance for the week. And you guys don't know how much joy that brought me. Do you understand? You guys, when you have a Canadian currency, you're like, oh, we're good. No, Zimbabwe was going through it. And I loved it because Uganda's currency is shit, and it was nice to see a country that's worse. Do you understand? Like that is what joy. That's what joy is. Just to give you an example, one Canadian dollar is 2,700 Uganda shillings. That's right. Yep, one Canadian dollar. Yep, it is. It's a fun currency to have. Because I like to send my friends in group chats, you know, when people are like organizing something, they'll be like, okay, we're gonna go try and go to a World Cup game or, you know, concert or something. I always put in the group chat, I'm sending you guys 500,000 Ugandan shillings. And they're like, Jesus Christ, Arthur, we didn't know comedy was paying this well. I'm like, don't worry about it. Just don't read the fine print. That will not be nearly as much as you think it is. It's a good time. I love, I forget where I was going to go with the currency thing. There was something, but it's gone. I'm going to talk, well, no, I talk about the couples. Are you guys a couple as well? Are you from Saskatoon?
Yep.
And how long have you been together? 2 months. Okay, so it's new? Yes. I love when you're like, oh my goodness, you made it to 2 months. But really what they're clapping for is the fact that you got out of another situation. Either of you, they're like, finally, you found happiness. But tell me, what's dating like in South Carolina? If you don't mind me asking, how did you meet?
Through friends.
Through friends, okay, you introduced it. So it's not the app kind of life, whatever. Do you have dating apps? Or do you all know each other already? And like, yeah, you know. Like, what do I need Tinder for when that's great.
That's why he brought up that cousin stuff.
Yeah, because guys, hey, here's the thing, spread out, no, you have Zimbabweans now, like you can, for sure you know this is not in your family life, I'm just telling you. There's Ghana back there too. There's a couple there, are you both from Ghana? Nigeria. Oh, that's why you were quiet when I was talking about your dad. You know what your dad was doing in the airport yesterday, you son of... Olu, okay? First of all, Olu is funny because most Nigerians their names are, you know I can. I love that. Nigerian, like, your parents don't know about this, right? Like, they don't know. That's not a pairing that should happen. You understand? Like, their parents will never accept that. That's why they do it in Saskatoon. They had to come to the cold of Saskatoon to be in love, to be like, yes, a Nigerian, again, if you make babies, have you made babies yet?
Yeah.
Oh no. How long have you been together?
3 years.
3 years? And did you meet here?
Yeah.
Okay. Do your parents know about each other? They did? What was that meeting like? What was that? Describe that in reality TV terms. How many episodes? 1 episode or 15 episodes? Like how many?
It was fine.
Are you sure? Okay. We'll talk about it. I get it. You're like, let's not talk about this in front of the others. I get it. Spilling our secrets. I appreciate it. Tell me the story after. But no, 3 years and how many babies?
One.
How old?
2 months.
Oh.
2 months? That's beautiful. That is great. Yeah. So yeah, you guys are in it right now. You're in the... I'm so glad you're still awake. No, congratulations. That's amazing. That baby has trouble coming ahead. He's going to have to explain to a lot of relatives, like, why can't I go to that? Is that you can't talk to those Nigerians right now. They're in the airport causing chaos. I love it. I love that you were quiet through the whole time because you also knew it was a Nigerian. The moment I said African man, you were like, that's my dad. That's my dad. He's visiting the 2 months old and he was just yelling, where are the kids' toys? But okay, 2 months you guys met through friends. And the reason I bring all of this up on the apps is because in the world out there, women are telling me, straight women are telling me that men lie about their height. Did you guys know this is a thing? I didn't know this was a thing. I just found out recently that men in apps, men will lie about their height, which I found funny because I'm like, that's the easiest thing to figure out. Like when you person shows up, you're gonna be like, no, you're not whatever height that you talked to. Do you know how tall he is? Yeah. 5'9", and you believe that, right? Yeah, are you 5'9"?
I'm 5'8".
There you go. Appreciate it. Okay? You guys are a couple as well, right? Do you know how tall he is? Just take a guess. 5'11", okay. And has he ever told you his height? Did you know?
Maybe.
Okay, did you guys meet in person or did you meet on an app? Online, okay. And how tall are you, sir, if you don't mind me asking? 5'11", okay. She got it right. That's cool. I bring all of this up, and you guys are a couple as well?
Yeah.
How do you meet?
Hinge.
Hinge, okay. Do you know how tall he is? How tall is he?
He's 5'8".
5'8", and how tall are you, sir?
5'8".
5'8", okay. Keep on that line. This is how I found out. The men are lying. I have a friend of mine in Vancouver. I was going out to Vancouver to some shows. And she was like, oh, I'm so excited. You haven't been to Vancouver in a while. We'll get to hang out. You also get to meet my new man, okay? He's 6'4". You're gonna love him, right? Yeah, and I was like, yeah. I can't wait to meet this 6'4" man. I show up. This guy was not 6'4", you know, like we finished, they came to the show and they came backstage to hang out, and immediately he walks up to me. I know he's not, and he's looking at me with bleeding eyes, being like, don't. And I was just like, okay, bro, I got you. I'm meeting you for the first time already. And she's like, oh my goodness, this is so-and-so, this is my friend Arthur. And she's like, he's 6'4", so you must be. I was like, yes, 7'5", 7'5". Because I am 6'3", and this man was nowhere near 6 foot. Do you understand? And I wanted so bad. I'm like, how is this a lie that happened? And I realized my friend is 5'2". Okay? She has no idea what's happening above her. Do you understand? So when I found out all you women who are like 5'3", 5'2", you have no idea. So 5'2", you show up at 5'8", they're like, this must be 6 foot. This must be. So I didn't want to bust the bubble. Just like, yeah, this man, 6'4". That sounds right. That's right. That's a thing. Yeah, and I'm 7'3". I should have been in the NBA. Yeah, I should have been. Which must be nice. It must be nice to be so short. You're like, anything above me must be 7 foot. I don't care. That's how this works. But I'm not doing a service. Okay, you guys, 2 months in, you've been wondering, is he actually 6'4"? So I'm doing a service now at all my shows. I stand outside of the end. I'm 6'3". You know immediately. Just be like, hey baby, go stand next to him. Just stand, but really close, really close. If possible, just stand behind him and put your shoulders together, just so I can see you. It's a lie that I love, because it doesn't mean anything. Like if you're a woman who's into tall men, okay, then you have a height in your mind anyways, okay? So if I tell you like, yo, if I'm 5'8" and I tell you I'm 6'4", you're immediately gonna be disappointed if you already know what that height is gonna be. Like say you're 5'5", you're like, no, 5'8", this is only 3 inches taller than me. Go fuck yourself, right? Like that. But I love it. I love the people out here, because dating is hard, in general. Especially being an African immigrant, I can't date Canadian women anymore. I can't do it. I've tried my best, I can't do it. Because when you date a Canadian girl, at some point you'll end up camping. It doesn't matter where. At some point, you're going to end up camping. You're going to wake up one morning in a tent. You haven't showered for 7 days, been shitting in a bush for fun. You're like, you're trying to leave Africa for this shit? What the No, I'm not. I'm not going camping. No, I'm not doing it, you know. The other thing is the cultural exchange. You meet someone from a different part of the world, you want to learn about them, which I encourage. Learn about the world, but pick and choose the right time, okay? Then this beautiful Canadian, and one night I was making sweet love to her, or what I thought was sweet love, because ladies and gentlemen, I was bringing it, okay? Muscles were bulging, sweat was coming down, I was just, right? Just mourning and screaming, she's mourning and screaming, and then she looked into my eyes, and then she went, do they have Christmas trees in Africa? I still have no idea what pissed me off more. The fact that she said asking all were having sex, or the fact that I took time out to answer the question. We do. I know that's a silly joke. It's an old joke, but I had to do it because I felt it was appropriate for the season. I actually have a a girlfriend, and last week, thank you. Last week, we were having a heart-to-heart, and she looked at me and she said, Arthur, you're the most important person in my life. I know. And I was like, that's sad. You guys have been listening to me for an hour. I should not be the most important person in anyone's life. Do you understand? I was like, oh, that's a bit sad, right? Like this. And then she's looking at me like I'm supposed to say, but you know how relationships, you guys know, like, she says something, so you have to say something back. Like, yeah, you're also the most, I was like, I can't. Because when we got together, she asked me for one thing. She's like, all I ever want from you is honesty. That's all I want. I was like, okay. So I can't say, you're all, I couldn't. Because the woman that gave birth to me, my mom, is still alive. She's the most important person in my life, okay? I have 3 older sisters and a younger brother. You're already out of the top 5. What I said. My immigration lawyer, the things this man did, this guy's understand, the things he would do to keep me in Canada, I would do anything for him. His number sits on my list for sure, do you understand? But I was like, you're still top 10, baby, you're still top 10. Anyways, I'm single again, and turns out the truth shall set you free. Next time, just lie and be like, yeah, you're also the most important person in my life. Yeah, we did that one. That was a good one. Who like it? Okay, I gotta let you guys go because we have another 10 people coming in for the league. We don't have time to turn over this room, you know. It's a hard life being this popular, guys. It's not easy. So you know sometimes when you're in a good role and then you have a humbling moment, that's what the Late Show is going to have for me. But I'm going to enjoy it because I enjoy this and I love that you guys came out. The travel gets to me though, but I had quite an experience recently. So sometimes we have to end up, because I'm not in control of my calendar in the way that I would love to, because again, not famous, okay? I'm just trying out here working. So I can kind of zigzag all over the place. So I'll be in Saskatoon, I'll be in Winnipeg next week, I'll be in Halifax, so I was popping up in all these places. And I went somewhere and I used my card, my bank card, to pay for something, and it didn't work. So I called my bank, I was like, yo, what's going on with my card? They're like, oh, transactions showed up in very different cities in the space of a very short time, so we thought your card had been hacked or stolen, so we shut down your account to protect you. I said, oh, thanks, TD, right? Thank you. Looking out for your boy. But you've messed up, okay? First of all those transactions happen at 3 o'clock in the morning at a place that sells poutine. Do you understand? That's always me. Like, look, that's always, if it's someone new at the bank, the manager will come around and be like, yeah, was it 2 in the morning? Was it a restaurant that sells poutine? Yeah, don't worry about it. That's our boy. He just bought a poutine to go back to his hotel room and cry. Do you understand? Like that, that is the life, okay? Secondly, I have $37 in my account. No one is trying to steal my account. You understand? If any of you stole my card, you'd bring it back. You'd bring it back and be like, hey man, here's another $20, fix your life. Do you understand? Like, figure it out. But third and most importantly, this bank has let me take out money out of a strip club ATM 3 times on the same night. That is where you're supposed to shut me down, TJ. Okay? The second time I show up at a strip club ATM on the same evening, a message is supposed to come across the screen that says, Arthur, go home, okay? Rent is coming up soon. Cinnamon doesn't love you that much. Go home. That's the truth. No, I love it. I'm going to live with a bit of a note. But again, I saw a bunch of couples. We talked about all these things about the world and the way it is. And here's the thing, racism, which I tried to stay out of the racism talk, because I'm trying to keep this light and fun and everything, because I do a lot of, people who have seen me before, if you've never seen me before, I do a lot of jokes about the racism and stuff like that. I try not to do that in this hour for very specific reasons. But the one thing I've discovered is we can try and use racism for good. And I know most of you are looking at me like no, I'm one of those, I know I'm not going to solve this, the bigotry that comes with it. It's homophobia or transphobia or even the gender misogyny. And I'm not going to solve it in my lifetime or your lifetime. But what I can do is use racism for good. And I'll give you an example. I live in Toronto and I use public transit to get around. I was waiting for the train the other day And I'm on the platform waiting, and this couple comes downstairs, and they're making out, full on making out in love. I was like, that's disgusting. Don't do that in public, right? And then I realized, actually, I'm a hater, okay? That's actually a romantic way to wait for the train, right? When the train comes in, they'll stop and they'll get on, right? Fine. Train comes in, we get on, they don't stop. Instead, they rump it up. Now the guy's hand is going under her shirt. It's getting very graphic. I'm like, no, this is public transit. There could be kids on this train. You can't do this, but I also can't just walk up to them and be like, stop, okay? I'm an immigrant. They could call the police. I could be deported. Do you understand? I can't. So I came up with the next best thing. I went and stood next to them. And I made this sound. I was like, and then I closed my eyes and started looking. I was like, And then when I opened my eyes, they had left. And I looked around and no one was laughing. Funniest thing I've ever done in my life, not a single person in the train. And that's when I realized no one knows who I am or what I do for a living. All they saw was a giant black man walk up to a very passionate white couple and make it a threesome without their permission. You understand? No one on the train slept that night. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming out. Good night. Thank you.
Arthur Simeon, everybody. So just a couple of things. Thank you for coming to the art bar. If you have a tab, stay at your table. The server will come and clear up your tab. If you try to run, it gets very confusing for the cops if you're running down 20th on a Saturday night. Just saying, they got enough real work to do. Don't have them chase you down. So thank you for coming to the art bar. Lots of great things. Again, see all the posters. Come back. Let's keep this amazing little venue going for everybody here in Saskatoon. My name's Ari. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty good.
For like you two here.
Yeah.
Those all good? Okay. Then I think I had the one beer you were good from.
Yeah. Is that greasy for you at all?
I want to know what a $3 trillion
There you are. You have a good night.
Canadian one.
We use yes.
That was all together for you.
Okay.
So last nomination we was agreeing about it. And then we were agreeing it's like, after Simeon comes continue.
That's crazy.
Yesterday they were saying Elon Musk is the best Canadian. And I'm like,
No,
No, yeah.
it's like $10,000. Almost $100,000.
We wanted
But there was a lot more, and we went through that and we came up with
Unless it already says.
What are the other options?
Well, thanks for being good sports tonight with him.
Oh, yeah. I think it happened when the organization was very young.
Very well.
We started as a nation very young. So actually, once we were born, that's when we started trying to figure things out. Understanding how things work. I can get into it.
Do you need a receipt?
Was it all together for you guys? Do you need a receipt? Yes. Receipt for you and all this?
Yes, Club Happy Hour starts in 20 minutes.
All 10 people to make sure.
Those will take it for you guys.
Oh, there he is.
Is it okay with the warning and
Discounted tickets to the debate.
Need a receipt.
But it's still be really expensive.
That's what we
Have the tickets right there. That's all you need to sign.
Or just something slightly like local art or something.
Yeah, we just gotta do this cash and then I'll
Radio.
Okay, well, and then, we've got some folks up front, so if you wanna take their orders too. I'll do the clearing back here.
This is the first time out. Yeah.
Yes, at the top. Oh, I see.
It's good. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been here in such a long time.
Mom wants a guy's autograph.
And it's changed. Yeah. Because I feel like it's more.
I should get your mom picture of it. Other immigrants in there.
What's the biggest difference you've seen since?
The beat, just the number.
Good job, Mom.
Okay. The last time I was here, I walked down.
Okay. We'll do it then. Alright. Let's go over there. Mom, I'll take your picture of it.
But you came in November.
Yeah, it's true. That is fair. Yeah.
So,
It's in summertime, so it's a different vibe. Yeah.
yeah. Hey guys.
Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We're big fans. Who wanted to sign that for us?
100%. What's your name?
Jacob
Jacob?
and Teresita.
You're gonna have to spell Teresita for me.
G-E.
Teresita. Teresita.
Alright.
Teresita.
Teresita.
Teresita. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Means small Teresa. If he's okay with it. Yeah, you're one of our favorite debaters comedians.
I really appreciate it.
Sorry, I'm sure. All right, go.
No, but that's why I did it, because I was hoping people who love, there's so many people who are like, oh, I'd love to come see a stand if I've heard you on the debaters, and they never get the chance. So that's why I booked the room. Because it's obviously very different.
So you stay here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Doing the debaters tomorrow.
Yeah. Do the debaters tomorrow or live on Monday? Really nice meeting you. Thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Who was the camera?
See you through.
Wait.
6'4".
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. Just live. What's your name? Real?
I'm their kid.
Oh, congratulations. The whole family.
Oh, so we didn't order.
We did not order, we got table service.
Thank you.
That is the name of the person. So,
I can get you one of those.
yeah. Like I was from North
Hey, I can have a shirt, the little t-shirts are cute, little cross. No one need it.
Do you by any chance know Ray?
Why did no one else bring a jacket?
It's not due to this location.
You guys are boring everything. You call Kansas Cloud for everybody down here. Okay, we're centered in over here.
Hazel and
Red with
You're not
collective and does a lot of events like you
It's also yeah, that was out of my name. You know what? I think a lot of people in Saskatoon is like 20 years back and forth.
right.
What everything you know is 20 years back. Like they probably listen to you and they'll know you. It's coming. They don't know you.
like not next summer, you're going after as well. I ordered like the new one.
You should have let that be aside.
What? I want to.
It's like
Where you load them from the top, like right? Just load
think
them
of
out.
ancient times when people would call like a train. That's what I order.
Instead of like the two sides, like schlepping them together, it's literally like top down. Where did you order from? Yeah. Aluminum chest. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So like exactly. But still, certifiable basic damage.
So it just has your.
Yes, it's like from the top.
Instead of middle. It's like different size. The volume of it is like smaller. Yeah.
I just want to twist the
I'm very excited about learning what it is. When is it going? Oh, I'm already here. Oh, it's out. It's like one.
So what is the
What are you talking about?
What are you doing? Exercise control.
I didn't even want to have a barbecue when I was on
I know. I could be in bed right now.
Guess what? You guys have very boring lives and for us.
I go to bed and wake up. I go to bed and wake up and hear what all the excitement that I would do. I would travel the world.
You have great hobbies.
You guys collecting wood. This is cool. Why give me a
guys?
She told us to come in here. She said she said Milo.
One
Milo's not here.
one
It's so it's sold out.
because there was option.
Who was it? Buy tickets. I was like, I did. We have to. Yes.
You know what? It could be any other exciting.
For what? You have like what's
A new reality TV series called Anything But Bad.
What's it called? Darko? Cherry Cherry.
Not our conversation earlier.
Gives vague instructions, right? Jordan is very lost. I mean, like,
Not the instruction.
yeah. Very vague. Do general. Do that. Be better.
Jordan didn't get that first go.
Did that Kurt? Yeah.
Yeah, on this side, I just got it.
If they flub a barcode, right? You get eaten. You get chumped.
Yeah, you could die.
Yeah. Yeah. That B minor was pretty sour.
Redeeming yourself with an A set. You could do that. Maybe some magic.
Guess I'm bring 6
Good start. Good start.
Yeah. So, of course, recently, your brother died out there. Come back to me. In fact, I'll make sure of it.
Like she's only grade 5.
Yeah, in high school there's like provincials.
One weird trick.
Good for her.
And she didn't know. Like how she did.
Yeah.
Like she ran her heat. So she was doing long jump and then she did her heat to 16 period.
Yeah.
And then she went back to long jump. And then all of a sudden they just like, she was done her long jump and they just stopped her to junior area where she made finals. So then she went to the finals area and she ran her thing and then by that time, she was done her jump.
Yeah.
But apparently they like really count they did that long jump that she missed it. So then it was chaotic. So then I called her after school. And I said, I think
They're winning their
but I think that she better do good on long jump because she was dominating which is like running, jumping. It's like very long jump.
You know one of those last time.
Hello.
Can I get for you?
2 Dakotas. Did they come with ice?
Yes.
Do you have a straw?
We could do a straw.
Thank you. 2 cherry. Cherry, cherry cider syrup.
No, I don't want the cherry cider straight. I want the cherry.
Oh, the light cherry, cherry.
Well, no, beer one. I'll just order my own.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. Where are you at? Where are you at?
I'm putting the straw fountain on. Okay, so what was after that?
Okay, very good. Can I please have the gin martini?
Martinis.
Yeah. She goes from like
And for yourself. We have the pint, or we also have a schooner. We like just got the schooner glasses in like not too long ago. I'm very excited about them.
That's a man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, of course.
I know.
I saw that and thought, oh, it's really dry.
I thought it was interesting how
Yeah, I
like
was like,
there's a whole bunch of things on cherry too. They're legit in cherry, light, cherry tint. What is it now?
Probably not.
Oh.
The biggest one possible. shape or form, it doesn't matter. Over here.
Testing it out now. Testing it out.
Every single hotel family.
Okay. Oh, right.
Not expecting to be
Yeah, it's really expensive.
Partial start.
I would not do that. If I didn't have like that very
We have shops. Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it though.
These are all
And what I mean by that is like,
Carry this place once before. Look, my God, we'll do it again.
Brett didn't like my white male comment when I arrived. Yeah, I remember they were like, yeah, Lucas go. Like to join the club of I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
I called it. You were always like, what's going on with that guy? And I was like, I don't know. Yeah. He was like days away. What? 15 minutes?
Oh, yeah, I see.
Oh my word. I had no idea it was that close. Now
There's one more area.
No,
He's- oh,
just
okay,
that,
I'll leave.
yeah, just that guy. I'm like, no, that was it. Oh, okay.
Looks like it's supposed to work.
And it's the roadie, so we have. Yeah, he covers the
They said they're gonna have a so probably for
like we just got this here, babe. Previously doing the data analysis. You can leave the treasury and then and then find everything.
The rest of it's just gonna be.
Yeah, thank you. Kurt said 2 days. We're cold, my dear. This will be 3.
Oh, nice.
Wait.
These are huge.
Look at me. Cheers, each other. Hold on. Take a picture.
When I was
Hello.
the scooters were scooters. They were thick glass, they were big.
So this road running on the answer interview
Yes. So he wants to have an interview with CEO and an interview for head of HR.
Wow.
I mean, it's like the it's like whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Plus, he took responsibility for half of my notes.
It's like a picture.
Anyways, so they gave him an offer. Exactly. He was like, Riley, like, this isn't worth it for me. Like, I'm not leaving the trade for like a fee. And so then I can't believe like not taking this opportunity. He's like, I'm sticking my neck out. Your name's given to me, nothing in this city. No, he like was like a total like brat. Like a long text message. And Brody said that it wasn't like initially a good time. You could see like the little boots that he was and didn't. And then he was calling 12 hours later. He sent her a nasty text. So he thought about it.
Okay, so I've been like, I've been fantasizing about responding to this.
Where is everybody? Where is it? Hello? Did anybody come to the show? Hello?
We're here.
Okay, move up front. Please. Pretty, please. I promise you I'll be nice. Arthur will be nicer. No, I'm serious actually, folks. If you don't mind, it's an intimate show, it's a small house, and literally, there's nobody here. So come on down front and make it a personal, it's a private show for you guys to fill in the front. You guys hiding in the... Yeah.
Spilling my mark.
How many shirts do you need?
Let's do the one room?
Right here? Right here?
I see you back there. There we go. Thank you guys for pulling on board. We're going to start the show in about 10 minutes, so make sure that, you know, if you finish to get to the market with that margarita, you order another one, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys. Right here.
Gin and whatever fruit you have, stir it up there. Really light. Glad bag, a bowling tub and a big straw. Doing a bag of merch. Got a little long. Blocking the dirt. You want more flow? Pull it up.
It was almost like you were like comparing the pool. Yeah. I never know though. I would never. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'll be coming in and out throughout the show, so
Okay.
wait me down for anything.
These are nice. I didn't even know
This is
they
the
were.
glitch.
Oh, yeah.
Ahead of time, I brought a backpack and just tucking in
I haven't had a shift here in a couple of weeks. I came back and I was like, what? We have schooners now?
That's the one that's
Hello, everybody. We're going to start this puppy for you. How you doing? Good. Thank you all for moving forward. It was really weird. Like, there's very bright lights here, and literally, like, I can't even really see the second row. So it's kind of a neat thing. My name's Ari. I am the host. I'm also the host of a show here called The Comedy Pit, which is a showcase of clean stand-up comedy. Runs September to April. A little shameless self-promotion. So please check us out. How many people have never been to the Art Bar before? Okay, so again, bright lights, can't really see, kind of got to yell and scream. So how many people have never been to the Art Bar before? There we go. How many people have been here before? How many of you are here because of court-ordered conditions? You guys are like, what are court-ordered conditions? So, very good. Well, welcome. The Art Bar is a wonderful cultural home. There's so much going on here. Please check out the website. See all those great things. It's my job as a host to kind of get a feel for where everybody's at, you know, take everything. We're going to have two comics for you tonight. Arthur Simeon, obviously your headliner, and a great local guy named Lachlan McWilliams is going to come up and set you up as well. But I want to set everything up really well for everybody. So I'm just going to do a couple of, leveler jokes. I do a lot of hosting. I do a lot of different shows. A lot of comics, we end up doing shows all over the place. And I did one not that long ago at an Indian restaurant. Now I want to be clear, it wasn't a First Nations restaurant. This was an Indian restaurant. And so it's me, 2 First Nations comics, and 2 Indian comics. And we started the show about 20 minutes late. Typical Canadian, I have to go up first, and they send me up. And I do what Canadians do. I apologize for starting late. And I said, folks, I'm really sorry that we started late. You could really blame that one on me. I wanted to get an Uber to get down here, but there were no drivers available. Okay, we know where you're at there. That's kind of good to know. I'm a big fan of the news. I'm a news junkie, and a lot of comics get their stuff from different places. I love to get mine from the news. There was a story not that long ago from Florida that said, Florida does not pass a law to make it illegal to marry your first cousin. I want to say this again. Florida law fails to make it illegal to marry your first cousin. Fails. That means in Florida you can marry your first cousin. I mean, I thought that was only okay in PA, but... Are you from PA?
I'm not saying.
So basically you were there for 2 years less a day and now you're... Okay, got it, all right. Well, congratulations, welcome to day parole. But the thing about that one is, this is what got me really thinking about this, is it only Florida that you can't marry your first cousin? The answer is no. There are 12 other U.S. states where it is allowed and legal to marry your first cousin. Any guesses?
Alabama.
Alabama's on the list? Tennessee, no. Utah, no, believe it or not. No, you can marry everybody, you just can't marry your cousin. Arkansas was on the list?
Louisiana.
Sorry? Louisiana, no, and no. No. California?
What?
That's not a surprise. Come on, it's California. You can marry a dog in California, right? And the other one that caught me that was really interesting was Alaska. Which when you think about it is really just a lack of options. So it's okay on that one. I'm so glad to be here tonight, glad you guys came. My wife's at home. She's celebrating her 10th wedding anniversary. I'm here, which makes her happy. The best present I could give her. But no, my wife and I, honestly, we've been married 10 years, but been together 25. Yeah, that doesn't get applause anymore. But we don't fight. Like you guys, are you guys a couple? How long have you been together?
2 years.
2 years, so you still like each other. You guys a couple? How long? Year and a half, so you still don't like. Anybody in like the longer term relationships? Or are you like old like me and probably should be in bed? Okay, well we've been together 25 years and we have one rule. We don't fight. We do not have any arguments or fights. It's amazing. Because we have one very simple rule. If one of us says something really stupid, the other gets to respond with something equally stupid. Let me show you how this works. We're at a wedding last summer, and my sister-in-law walks in. And in a word, she was looking hot. And I looked at my wife, and I said innocently, "Your sister's looking hot tonight." Now, I should have remembered that my wife carries the double recessive jealousy gene. And she looks at me with these eyes of burning fire and she's like, "Oh, really? Do you want to sleep with her?" And I'm like, "Do I got a shot?" Again, rule number one, it works. I'm a little troubled, I gotta admit it. I'm dealing with some stuff, like every comic has mental issues and trauma. We all do, it's why we're up here, we want your validation. But I've been to my therapist and, okay, I'll just say it. I was an unwanted child. Yeah, okay, no sympathy there, thank you. Clapping. Youngest child?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. It's not that my parents didn't love me, by the way. It's just that they didn't want me. And I can prove this to you by using math. I have two older brothers. One is 15 years older than I am. The other one is 13 years older than I am. My birthday is exactly 9 months after my father's birthday. The house I grew up in had 4 chairs at the kitchen table. Our family car, 4 doors, 4 seats, and a hump. I'm the hump. I'm only here because my mother had a drinking habit and my father was perseverant. You know, there's something I should tell you about me, honestly. When I was younger, I was a competitive athlete. You may not be able to tell now, but I was a track star. In elementary school, I was a sprinter. Because once you got this much mass moving, it was hard to stop. My grade 7 teacher actually wrote on my report card, true story, exact words, "Ari doesn't sweat much for a fat kid." True story. I proved him wrong. I hit puberty that year and it was over. But, though, by the way, the teenage sweat's going to come back in a second here. But like I said, I was a track star. And sprinting was my thing. And I set my realistic goals. I knew I wasn't going to be first. Okay? I just wanted to beat Timmy. Okay? Grade 5, Timmy beat me. Grade 6, totally blew me off the track. Finally, end of grade 7, I got close to beating him. Grade 8, I finally beat him. It's important to let you know that Timmy had polio. Just saying. But for grade 8, I beat the polio kid, so that was kind of nice. Along the way. Yeah, I'm a bugger that way. I love the fact I'm a grandfather, and I've got 2 wonderful grandchildren and 2 wonderful nieces. I work from home, which gives me a lot of flexibility, but it also means that I have to go to things like choir concerts and band concerts and all of those kind of things. And if any of you have kids that age, you know. And if you've ever been to an elementary school gym on a Tuesday afternoon when it's 30 degrees outside, you know that there is not enough Axe body spray to go around. And that's just the adults. So the other day I'm in watching my niece's band concert. And it's not like you can see anything, right? Because they don't have risers. And you got a whole room of adults holding hammers up above their head, and you're like trying to find your spot there. But at the front of the class, the front of the room there, on a riser of course, there's a woman doing sign language. Which means somewhere in the audience there is a parent who's deaf. I have never been so jealous in my life. I'm telling you, that is the way to go to a band concert. And I mean, I'm 58 years old. I don't have hearing aids. I can't even fake it. But I've never looked at a person with more envy than that. And envy's a terrible thing, right? Like, we all have it. Your neighbor gets something that you really want, and you're like, oh, I love that car. Guy down the street got one of those robot lawnmowers. Yeah, who said that? Yeah, totally, right? And you know what we did when he got it? We put lawn chairs out. We're watching this thing. We're like, oh, it's mapping. That is so cool. Oh, it's going back to dump. Okay, cool, whatever. And I thought to myself, man, if there's nothing could top that. Until the guy at the end of the block, we're sitting around talking, he goes, yeah, man, I got autism. I'm like, I am so jealous. Do you know what you can get away with when you're on the spectrum? Right? He can say anything. It's like, oh, it's Tourette's. It's on the spectrum. Right? Like, I have to wait till I get Alzheimer's to be that honest. Put me in the home, feed me my little fruit cup, and then I can call you whatever the hell I want. He can walk into Walmart and go, bitch. I'm totally jealous. I'm going to bring up Lachlan in just a second, but I want to share with you a wonderful story about my oldest or youngest granddaughter, Lily. I coach her basketball team. She's 13 years old. 13 is a fun time. Not only are they exploring the world, but they have a whole totally different language. And the 50-year-old, 8-year-old, excuse me, COVID. Still too soon? Okay. 58-year-old guy, I drive them around. I got 3 girls in the back, Lily's in the front seat. And I want to be the cool grandpa, so I say, okay, you know what, go ahead, connect your stereo, connect your phone to the stereo, play your playlist, let's crank it. They got it cranked, we're singing along, it's Katy Perry. I kissed a girl and I liked it. I don't want to know. And then this song comes on. The nastiest, skankiest, rudest, like, holy I won't even say those things. I haven't even done half of those things, and I'm pretty liberal. But she's screaming along and yelling, but I don't want to be that authoritarian grandpa that goes, oh, shut that off. Like, I don't want to be let them fight back with authority. But I don't want to hear it anymore. So I look at the screen, I look at Lily, and I go, I love this song. And her face goes white, and she looks at me, and I go, I need to know what's the name of the song so I can download it and twerk for grandma. Yeah, that was her reaction. Oh, click, the song's off. And I thought, we're done with that. Okay, perfect, I've achieved what I wanted. Well, teenagers have the memory of a goldfish. Next week, we're driving to another game. Phone's still connected to the Bluetooth. She starts playing her playlist. The song comes on. Didn't get 2 beats into the song, her friend in the back seat goes, oh my God, shut it off! I don't want to have that dream again. I don't know what I'm happier about. The fact, or I don't know what I'm thinking about. Am I happy that they don't want to play the song? Or am I freaked out that her 13-year-old friend is dreaming about me twerking? That's why I'm in therapy. Folks, are you ready for your first act? All right, well, are you ready? Let's try that again. Are you ready for your first act? All the ladies, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lachlan McWilliams. Lachlan!
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for saying hello back. You guys are the best for saying hello back. I've encountered a lot of audiences. I'm pretty big in comedy. I perform in PA regularly, so And a couple of weeks ago, I performed at the Saskatoon Public Library on Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. So you're in for a treat with me tonight, or vice versa. My name is Lachlan. That's Gaelic for warlike. I'm way overnamed. I'm from Moose Jaw. Not a lot of wars there. Mostly just an overrated spa. But having the name Lachlan, I felt a lot of pressure to be a tough guy growing up. So I studied judo. I earned a yellow belt. But you guys are a tough crowd. I guess ours all orange belts are higher on Saturday night. I'm used to it though, my parents are worse than you people even. My dad used to say things like yellow belt. Isn't that just a white belt with pea stains, Lachlan? My mom was the worst. I heard her talk to the neighbor lady, and the neighbor said, "Oh, Marlene, I saw your son at the co-op yesterday buying pierogies." My mom's response, "Which one? The two-time Canadian wrestling champion who went out to train with Daniel Ogali, Canada's first Olympic gold medalist in wrestling? Or the other one?" Lachlan with just a yellow belt in judo. In the world of theater, if you can act, sing, and dance, they call you a triple threat. That seems weird to me because all the guys that I know that can act, sing, or dance, no threat at all. They're like zero threats. I was in a biker bar, this guy bumped into me and said, "Hey man, do you want to go? Do you want to take this outside?" I said, "That depends. Can you act, can you sing, and can you dance?" That guy was dangerous. He couldn't do any of those things. He forced me outside. I didn't want to fight, so I tried to intimidate him. I mentioned my name was Lachlan. I mentioned my yellow belt in judo. Not impressed by either of those things. So I thought maybe if I warmed up, I would impress him with my physical prowess. So I did my favorite yoga pose, warrior pose. It should be called "Hit Me Anywhere You Want" because that's exactly what he did. The only way it could have been any worse is if I'd done my second favorite yoga pose, downward facing dog pose. I was counting for more yoga people here to get that. So I'm not going to demonstrate that pose because I believe in consent, and I don't think the front row wants to see that it's close. That was a bad day for me, and sometimes I have a bad day. People say, "Lachlan, when life hands you lemons, make lemonade." What a stupid expression. What's so bad about lemons that are gently handed to you by life? There's way worse things in life than lemons. Like fish. And life keeps on handing me fish. Try being optimistic about that. When life hands you fish, cook it fast, your house will stink. When life hands you fish, cook it on Friday and call it Fishy Friday because alliteration makes everything better. When life hands you fish, make fish casserole, put it in your freezer and let your kids deal with it when you're dead. Yeah, I'm glad you like that one because I actually had fridge magnets made that say, "When life hands you fish, make fish casserole, put it in your freezer and let your kids deal with it when you're dead." That's till after the show. So, they're real, see? They're real. Please buy a magnet. To be honest, I'm only here to meet women and sell magnets, and I can tell all the women here are in relationships. So, please buy a magnet, please. Please buy magnets. Women are impressed when you buy magnets for them too. It shows commitment, but it's without going overboard. It's perfect. I'm getting really sick of people trying to seem intelligent by talking about how much they like to watch documentaries. This guy started telling me about Seaspiracy. It's about the horrific practices involved in commercial fishing. He said, "Lachlan, if you ever wanted to quit eating fish but couldn't, watch Seaspiracy. It changed the way I think about fish." He thinks about fish. And he thinks I can't stop eating fish without a little help. He's like, "Let me know if you find a good documentary on Costco hot dogs." Because that's my problem. They're $1.50 a piece. I can't afford not to eat them. I don't even put condiments on because I like to taste the value. I also have taste the value magnets I'm selling out. Any first responders here tonight? No, first responders? Good. Because I don't like first responders. Society gives them way too much credit. It's because they conflate first with best. They're not the best responders. They're just the first responders. The term first responder implies there will be subsequent responders. Those are the ones that I like. You know, the doctors and the nurses. Why don't we just call first responders didn't get the job done in the first place? I have a bias against first responders because my ex-father-in-law was a first responder, and everyone made a big deal about what a hero he was. He was a firefighter at the Moncton International Airport for 25 years. Guess how many fires he put out in 25 years? 3. You're way too optimistic or pessimistic, depending on how you look at fires. If you have a child and that child has had at least one birthday and that celebration involved blowing out at least one candle, your child has way more firefighting experience than my ex-father. He was a never responder. It's actually worse than that if you look at the number of lives saved, because this is a long time ago, but Canada actually did have the death penalty at one time. And he was in a jury with 11 other men, and they sentenced 2 men to death. Now, I'm not going to do the math on that, but that's a negative number in lives saved. He is not a hero. By a round of applause, how many people are coffee drinkers? I used to drink coffee, but I quit. Because for the price of just one coffee a day, I'm saving the life of an orphan in Bolivia. Is anyone else here saving orphans in South America? Okay, I guess it's just me. I hope you're really enjoying your coffee. I'm not actually saving a child in Bolivia quite yet. But I will sponsor a child in Bolivia when I get to 10,000 followers on Instagram. And right now I have 289, so I'm 2.89% of the way there. So I'm asking all of you to follow me on Instagram tonight. It's McWilliams_comedy on Instagram. It's McWilliams_comedy on Instagram. Please follow me. Now you have a life and death decision to make. Do I follow Lachlan on Instagram, or does that kid die? And if you follow me on Instagram, that will make you 0.01% responsible for saving a life. Now that's not a huge number, but it is a positive number. And that makes you a way bigger hero than my ex-father-in-law. I have to leave now, this is my time, but I just wanted to bring a bit more. I am pretty big in comedy, so please do follow me at McWilliams_comedy. And I mentioned I have performed in PA. I've also performed in SVZ, Langham, and Brandon. That's not a province, people, so that's pretty impressive. When I traveled a lot for comedy. When I was in PA, I discovered that PA now is an escape room. And if you get out, you're still in PA. That's not how escapes works, is it, people? That's it for me. Enjoy the rest of the show. Bye, Megan.
Lachlan McWilliams, everyone. Anybody watched all 50 seasons of Survivor?
Oh my.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, my wife has. That's why, I'm here and she's at home. But I think Survivor's gotten a little boring. It's the same thing. Beautiful people on beautiful islands doing ridiculous challenges to get rice. And I think they need to spin it up a little bit. So I'm writing a letter to CBS, to the producers, to say, let's get Survivor to the next level. I'm going to run the ideas by you. Tell me what you think. Survivor Tehran. Okay? You're not on that, okay? Survivor Costco. Because the challenges will be great, right? Find a parking spot on a Saturday morning. Get a sample. You ever watch this? Like, they crowd around the samples, right? And there'll be like 12 little samples and 30 people. And there's always one guy who just throws his kid over the bunch. So get 4! Timmy, get 4! And it's like, seaweed, bud. just do like everybody else does in the grocery stores. Just open it and eat it, you know. All right. Oh, shit, I totally forgot something really quickly before I bring Arthur up. Land acknowledgement. Folks want to recognize we're here on Treaty 6, home of the Lakota Cree, and the traditional homeland of the Métis people. If you rolled your eyes at that one, what's wrong with you? Reconciliation is important. I myself went to a sweat lodge recently. You may know it as Montana's You Can Eat Ribs. All right. Sometimes you throw stuff out, sometimes it works, sometimes it's just like, oh, Ari, get the hell off the stage. Thank you for being polite. Ladies and gentlemen, your headliner is in town to take CBC debaters. He's also been on Just for Laughs. He's got a list of credits so long that would take up the entire show, but you didn't come to hear his credits, you came to hear him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Arthur Simeon. Arthur!
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming out and also keeping the show secret. No, I love it. I love it. You guys are like, no. We want to keep you to ourselves. And just like maybe next time, like tell a cousin, like kidnap a neighbor. Like I am in town to tape something for CBC tomorrow, and I was like, oh, they have meeting on a Sunday. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I haven't been to Saskatoon in a while. I want to do some stand-up in Saskatoon. And everyone told me about Art Bar, which is a very wonderful venue. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, do you want one show or two shows? I was like, in Saskatoon, I'm famous. You're gonna have trouble keeping people away. Is what I said. I was wrong. I should have combined I should have just done the one. I have learned that now, okay? Are you happy? You've humbled me. But I am happy to be here. It has been a while. I also did the fucked up thing where I didn't bring a jacket to Saskatoon because I thought it was summer everywhere in Canada. This is as warm as it gets. I was like, I'll just take a hoodie. And to be honest, I took the hoodie for the plane because I like having a hoodie on the plane. And then I got here and I realized you guys didn't get the memo for summer. You didn't get all the sun. The sun is still up. Like I get that part, but the rest of it was 10 degrees when I landed. I was like, listen, when the World Cup is happening in a country, that country is usually warm. Do you understand? And that's how that works. Because on the first day, Canada played Friday, and it was 29 degrees. In Toronto, Saskatoon did not get that memo. I also love that Toronto is crazy right now about the World Cup. Like there's a vibe every bar. It's like like convenience stores are like, we have the game happening. I'm like, for who? Like who's buying convenience store being like, yeah, this is where I want to watch the game. And then I came here and you guys were like, what? What is the World Cup? What is something happening? The Rough Riders are playing. Everything else. Is that the World Cup? Because yes, that is the World Cup to us. I learned the hard way about how much you love the Rough Riders because I did a show a long time ago in Regina, and I know you hate them. I hate them too. Don't worry. I saw someone put a photo. Can you please send it up to me? Because I was about to ask someone. Okay. I like that. No, I'm gonna tell you. I was doing a show, and a bunch of people. It was a Friday night. A bunch of people in Riders gear. You know, like the shirts, T-shirts, or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Was there a game today? And they looked at me and they were like, no. And I was like, then why are you wear? They're like, this is what we wear when we come out on a Friday. And I was like, oh no, what have I done? And then, because again, I was feeling like, oh, comedian, funny guy, right? I went, oh, we just won, because that year, the Grey Cup had been won by the Toronto Argonauts. I was like, oh, yeah, we just won the Grey Cup and we don't even care about it. Anyways, I did a police escort to get out. Last time I did that, and I'm happy to be back in the tune, as I like to call it. And I should have checked the weather. It's a very simple thing. I should have checked and be like, yeah, maybe I'll need a jacket while I'm there. I did not do that. And that's fucked up because the last time I was here was about 10 years ago. I came to do a show at TCU place, and they put me up at the Holiday Inn. And if you know your city well, that is across the street from the venue. And I almost didn't make it. I'll never forget, it was November 2nd. It was the second day of November. It was minus 31. I was like, what are you doing? Who lives here? What are you? There should be buildings in here. It should just be frozen wasteland. What are you talking about? I couldn't cross the street. Because I came in with a November jacket. You understand? Everywhere else in this country, there's a November jacket, okay? We don't pull it out until January. You guys pull it out in August, and I don't understand. You're brave. This is the bravest province. Because other cold places have like mountains. You guys are just out here road dogging the weather. It's like just staring what a time to be alive. I also okay, by the way, are you good at photography? I don't mean to point to you. Are you good at it? Can you make it seem like the room is full? Can you do it? If you go and sit in an angle over there, just get this part, but make sure you don't get that one. Just take a bunch, is what I'm saying. Just move around. I'll give you some drink tickets, because that's how we get paid in Canadian entertainment. There's no money in this for you. Just a lot of appreciation for you supporting the arts. I love it. Just take a bunch. I'm happy to be. I got in yesterday, and already a very eventful trip for me, because I landed and full flight, which again was a very surprising thing. I was like, so many people want to go to Saskatoon. Not just me. I'm missing out. But anyway, full flight. And here's something that I learned about you guys that I didn't know, and I guess no one knows. You guys are probably used to this. You know, in most, the cars, like the cars that brings out the luggage, the slowest one is in Saskatoon. I didn't even know there was a setting that was like that. Like, others move like this, right? Like they go this. You guys move like this. And also, the bags come up one at a time. One at a time. It's like you just have one guy just running to the plane, picking a suitcase, running back, putting it down, then running back. Just one guy, just one incredibly slow runner, just one. He's been at the job for like 40 years, but his union, they're never gonna fight. They're never gonna. Like, can we have a second person? It's like, only if you want to hear from my lawyer. It took an hour for the bags to come, just one bag at a time. So most of the passengers getting frustrated, because like there's families, there was a family of like 4 or 5, they had like 6 suitcases. I left them there waiting. Do you understand? It was too slow. And then I saw one of the most unhinged things in my life. Okay? And the early show didn't agree with me. I don't give a fuck. They didn't know what they were talking about. You guys are better than them. We're all standing, waiting for the checked luggage. And this man just got tired of it. You guys are familiar with Saskatoon Airport, right? You know where the bags come out. There's also that metal part that leads into where with the rubber curtains. This man stood on top of it. Yeah. Went into the curtains, stuck his head in, and just started yelling at stuff. I didn't even know you could do that. Do you understand? And I'll tell you that, my name is Arthur, for those of you who are not familiar. I'm an immigrant to Canada. I was born and raised in Kampala, Uganda. It's a small East African country. Always introduce myself as African everywhere I go. And here's the thing, the moment you tell Canadians you're African, it doesn't matter which African country you tell them you're from, they're going to mention a different African country. Every single time. I'll be like, yeah, I was born in Uganda. Like, oh, my cousin just came back from Cameroon. And I'm always like, yeah, I know. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, anytime a enters an African soul, all of us get an email. An Amber Alert goes off on our phones, thanks to Wakanda sharing its technology. Fucking piece of shit. I don't say that part, but I think I say all this to say that, like, I feel like I represent the entire continent everywhere I go, right? Because you guys get to be individuals, right? I don't have that privilege. Okay, all the Canadians in this room, you do something dumb, everyone's like, oh, Tom's an idiot, don't worry about it. Okay? Jess, or just an idiot, don't worry about it, okay? I do something dumb like Africans. I'm like, no, it's just me. Why are you throwing an entire continent under the bus? This doesn't make any sense. And I bring all of this up because the man who fit into the luggage thing, I'm bringing all this up. The man that was a black African man who was maybe in his 60s, full African guy. Like, you couldn't even deny that he was one of us. I'm like, bro, you can't do this. And then everyone is looking at me being like, hey, you gotta tell your dad to stop doing that. I'm like, I don't know this man. He's Nigerian. Like, don't look at me. I kept looking around for security, being like, someone's got to tell this man. This man was done. He was tired of the bullshit. You understand? It's like, get 2 people to work and bring my bag. Which is such an insane thing. So I don't know. Maybe this is just me. I thought it was one of those things I saw because this man, like, you know how luggage comes up? You don't know whose bag is whose. What are you yelling at them? Giving them a description of your bag so they can bring it? It was...
I'm sorry.
What? What happened?
About the bags. Yeah, I'm sorry for your experience.
Are you feeling sorry that this man was doing this? Because I laughed the fuck out of that thing. I was like, this is great. This is the most Nigerian thing I've ever seen in my life. That's the most Canadian thing ever. I'm sorry you went through that. I didn't go through anything. I'm just going to apologize. I'm doing
Americans of Africa.
Pardon me?
Nigerians are the Americans of Africa.
Nigerians are the... I don't think you're allowed to say that. I don't think but I do understand what you're saying. I agree with you, but I have to also stand up for that. How dare you, Canadian, tell us about what kind of show am I running right now? That's the most Canadian thing and the most American thing happening. Nigerians are the Americans of Africa. No, they're not. I'll tell you why. The hubris is the same. The level of commitment. Not a single American would go check through the rubber curtains. Nothing's going to stop a Nigerian. Do you understand it? I'm going to get my bags whether you like it or not. No, Nigerians are the Nigerians of the world. It stops there. It stops there. It's really funny because in the early show there was a Nigerian in the audience and I did this whole thing and then at the end he was like, I'm Nigerian. I'm like, of course you are. And you kept quiet the whole time. I was like, that was my dad. No, that was my Friday, landing Friday evening. I'm like, oh, we're already in the party. This is great. I love this travel. I love the travel. Like that's all. Not all, but that's most of my life in this job, and it's quite enjoyable for the most part. But it's just things I have to talk about because it puts so much. Like for example, right? I go through airports and stuff like that, and I just want to. You guys join me in a bit of a conspiracy theory. You guys have been on planes, right? Round of applause. You've been on a plane before, yeah. Round of applause if you've ever looked inside the cockpit of a plane. You've seen, okay? Join me in this, there's no way all those buttons work, right? There's no way. You ever look inside, you're like this. It's like they're making stuff up just to make us think they went to school. Do you understand? Like, I've watched enough movies, no, I know this one, right? I know this one, right? I know this one. I know there's 2 buttons up here that you do, right? I know there's 2 in front of you that you do, right? Why are there 65 buttons up here? There's no... Every time I'm leaving a plane, never when I'm getting on because I'm smart, but when I'm leaving, it takes everything in me not to rush past the flight attendants and go in and just switch everything up. Which one? Which one? And then I remember I'm a giant black man. I can't go around doing white people shit. You understand? You get killed for doing that. I do love it though. I do love being in Saskatchewan. I walked around your city a little bit. It was a nice day today. And I hadn't been here in a long time. The last time I was here was minus 31. Did not walk around, I'll tell you that much. I went hotel, venue, back to hotel, and then airport, out. But today I was like, this is beautiful. Walked around. Something really disturbing. I walked by a cop car. Took up, sitting aside, both eating. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. Parked on the side of the street, very confident in eating. I'm like, no, you're on taxpayers' dime. You can't both eat at the same time. One of you eats, one of you keeps your eye on society. You're protecting and serving a community. You can't both eat at the eating in a car is a very vulnerable thing to do. Okay, when the rest of us do, you have to pull to a side street like a raccoon. This guy's just confidently. It took everything in me not to walk in front of the cruiser and pretend to pull out a gun, just to see reaction time, just to see how long is he gonna get from sandwich to gun. Do you understand? Now there's garlic sauce all over the radio, right? Then again, I remember a giant black man. I can't go around. Would not have made it to the show, yeah. But I still think it's funny. I still think it's funny. So all the white people do it for me. Do it for me. Nothing is gonna happen to you. Nothing. It's not like nothing. The most you're gonna get is like a all the sauce on the radio now. Connor, Tyler. How dare you? I like to, when I travel, when I fly, I like to book emergency exit row seats in economy, or as I like to call it, first class for peasants. Because you have the legroom of first class, but you're still surrounded by poor people, right? And though the airlines do it, they'll let me on first. They'll be like, oh, you can get on first. So when I get on, I make sure, like, when everyone else gets on, I let them, I'm like, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. I'm $47 better than you. Like, I'm not in business class yet, thanks CBC. But I'm $47 closer than the rest of you fucking peasants, right? So I'm on my flight, right? I have my legs stretched out because I have the roof. And about 15 minutes in flight, I walks up to me and goes, excuse me, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to retract your legs. I was like, what? She's like, I'm gonna have to ask you. I'm like, no, I heard what you said. I just don't understand why. She's like, well, you're sitting in the emergency exit row. If we need to use the emergency exit, your legs will be blocking the rest of the passengers. Thank you. I laughed as well. Like, I don't think you know how emergency exits work. Because if we need to use that these legs will be the first through the fucking exit. These legs are attached to these arms that are going to 100% open that exit in case of an emergency. I won't even wait for you guys to tell me. The moment I feel the kind of turbulence, I'm calling it for the group. You understand? You gave me a whole speech at the beginning of the flight. I'm the captain now. Do you understand? I hate that you laughed at that. I hate that you laughed at that. What do you mean my legs are blocking? What has happened on this flight that everyone else is trying to jump over me? And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead. No, I'm meeting downstairs. I'm meeting downstairs. Pay $47 extra. I want to see where this goes. Has the plane been split in half? Is that what's happening? And my upper body is floating around somewhere by my legs? In that case, you don't need this emergency. A new one has opened up on the planet. It's so much. But I used to do love, because like I told you, I was born in Uganda. My whole family is still there, so I try and go and see them as often as I can. Usually it's once a year, maybe the holidays. And it's a bit of a long journey, right? And my friends always ask me, what's your favorite part about getting to go home? And most people assume it's seeing my family, the weather, the food. No. My favorite part is going to Toronto International Airport, where I live, and trying to figure out which Canadians are flying to Africa for the first time. Only two kinds of Canadians, the ones who are going for the first time and the ones who have been before. And it's easy to tell the difference, okay? But the ones who have been before are dressed, how can I put this, normally, okay? Like normal people about to take a long flight, maybe in a hoodie, some sweats, some comfortable clothes. The ones who are going for the first time can best be described as Indiana Jones. Raided a Bass Pro Shop and a US military site on the way to the airport. Like, what the fuck are you wearing? Why is everything you're wearing waterproof? Where do you think you're going? Do you think the plane hovers over a swamp and they open a trap door and they're like, hey, welcome to Africa? Why are you wearing a tactical vest? Where do you think we're in American high school? Like, what is happening? It's insane. But I also learned my lesson. I learned to be humbled again because I discovered there's a flight that I discovered recently. And because usually when you fly to other parts of the world, for those of you who have flown across to other continents, you have to normally go through Europe, right? You go through, you either go, if you take like a British Airways, you go through Heathrow, you take a KLM, you go through Amsterdam, you take Emirates, you go through like Dubai. So I'd always go through Europe or the Middle East. Then I discovered Ethiopian Airlines, one of the largest, if not the largest, African airline, now has a direct flight from Toronto to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. It's a 13-hour flight. I was like, yes, that's perfect, because from Addis Ababa to Uganda is a 2-hour flight. So total flight time is about 15 hours with transit, 17, 18 hours. I'm home. I'm like, perfect. I'll be home in less than 24 hours. Let's go, okay? So I booked this flight. It's a long 13-hour flight. And I'm on this flight with people who are, you know, the first timers, right? Indiana Jones, right? Like, and I'm walking, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But this plane is full of mostly Africans, okay? Mostly, I'd say 80% with African, you know, Nigerians and Ugandans and Ghanaians, South Africans, whatever. And then there's a few Canadians who have discovered this flight and they're flying to some part of East Africa they're going to enjoy. And so we're on this flight and we're about to land. Paula gets on the microphone. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be landing in Addis Ababa in about 27 minutes. Local temperature will be 25 degrees. Local time will be 7:37 a.m. when we land. As we're taxiing to the terminal, you can resume using your electronic devices like CD players. He said CD players in 2025. And I was like, bro, we have white people on the flight. You can't say this shit. Don't embarrass us in front of company, man. Like, don't. No one is using CD players, bro. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Also, we've been on this plane for almost 13 hours, and you're telling me this whole time this plane could be affected by CD players? I turned to the guy in the waterproof, so I'm like, do you have any more? Because I don't think we're going to make it. We're not going to make it. Give me the scuba gear. This is dumb.
Sure he wasn't just messing with the Indiana Jones crowd?
Yeah, maybe. Are you going to do commentary for all of it? Like, I don't know. Should I prepare myself? Because sometimes you can just either hate the joke or love the joke. But I appreciate your commentary. I do. So I'm on this flight. My friends ask me, what's your favorite part? I'm like, I get to go home. And I come from a big extended family, right? I'm home. And the thing about being an immigrant is I've lived in Canada for a long time. And sometimes you forget the things that make you appreciate where you come from, right? I was talking to some people earlier, and I was telling them, like, you move to a place, and, you know, people move from different places, but you forget what makes you tied to the place that you were born and raised. I was born in Uganda, my whole family's there, and I'm like, sometimes I forget. And then every time I go home, I'm reminded that one of my favorite things about being Ugandan is how delusional we are. We're the most delusional people on the planet, and I love that. Because sometimes I forget, and when I'm here, you guys are like, oh, you're delusional. And then when I go, because I'm like, I'll book art bar and I'll sell it out. Fuck you guys, don't worry. That's not funny, that's not funny. But yeah, you guys are like, yeah, delusional. But when I'm in Uganda, I'm just fitting in. Everyone's like, yeah, well, and I'll give you a perfect example of how delusional we get. So I'm home, and here's a thing, biggest in the family. Well, my mom has 14 siblings. She grew up with 14 siblings. All of them have kids. So on my mom's side alone, I have 100 first cousins. Over 100, actually. That's over 100. Yes, it's true. Yeah, because some were very prolific. Some of us siblings. She has 2 siblings that have more than 10 children. Like, it's amazing. So I try to catch up with, because I grew up with most of them. We all grew up, you know, around the same way, whatever. Like I try and catch up with as many of them as I can. And so I'm calling one of them, and he's not picking up. And I asked my family, I was like, yo, what's going on with cousin Raymond? Like, I can't get a hold of him. They're like, oh, Raymond joined this criminal gang in Uganda that goes around stealing cars, so he's a bit estranged from the family. I was shocked. I was stunned to hear this. Because my cousin Raymond doesn't know how to drive. He doesn't know how to drive. It's the shittiest gang on the planet. Like, they didn't ask some basic questions before letting this loser join them. What is he doing for the gang? Is he just hyping them up? And like, you did it! And then he jumps in the back seat, like, making sandwiches before the heist. Like, you're gonna need your strength. But I love him. We grew up together. So I'm like, no. I use my sister's phone. I finally call him. And he picks up. I've been calling this whole time. He finally picks up. I'm like, yo, it's Arthur. I'm in town for a bit. I'd love to catch up. And he goes, damn, that's really good to hear from you. Yes, let's go catch up. And he goes, hey, are you the North American number that's been calling me? I was like, yes, that was me trying to get a hold of you. And he goes, oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't pick up. I thought it was the FBI. Yes, the American FBI. I was like, Ray, I don't mean to shit on your chosen profession, but I don't think the FBI are looking for you. Do you understand? Like, that is a level of delusion even I have. Do you understand? Like, I don't think it goes domestic terrorists in the United States and then car thieves in Uganda who don't even know how to drive. What do you mean? You thought it was the FBI. Also, in your mind, you thought you had them stumped at missed calls. Like, that is the extent of the FBI mother. Just a bunch of FBI agents sitting around being like, I don't know how he does it. We called him 10 times. We called him 10 times. This man didn't even pick up once. This guy is a mastermind. I don't know how he does it. Didn't switch off his phone, change numbers, nothing. Just like, missed call. That will teach him. I'm like, Raymond, I don't know if you've watched movies or television. The FBI don't call ahead. You understand? Say, hey, is this Raymond? Yeah, we're coming. We're coming. We'll be there in 26 hours. Everything is waterproof. We're not bringing our CD players. Get ready. Well, fuck you up, Raymond. I love it. I love going home. People always ask me, what is it like? And it's like, we're built different. You guys are built different. You know, they've decided, like, you got, it's parts of society where, like, you guys are making all these advances in everyday, like, technology and trying to make life smooth with technology and stuff. And you guys are like, nah, we can change that. I'll give you an example. I used Uber for the first time in Uganda last year. So I'm very lucky that every time I go home, I have plenty of cousins. I get over 100 of them to drive me around, right? I have my mom's car that I can borrow from time to time. I never have to use Ubers. But last year I was in a bit of a pickle, like Uber was the only way out. I was like, all right, I'm gonna call an Uber for the first time. And pull up the app. And you guys are familiar with rideshare companies. You have a location, which they'll come to, and you have a location you're going to. You put both of those things in, they come pick you up, verify your identity, you go to the destination, end of transaction. Not in Uganda. No. First thing that happened, driver called me. Didn't even know that was a possibility. Right, I'm like, what the fuck? Now, again, delusion. I thought it was Uber calling me, trying to make sure my account isn't hacked. Because I'm using it for the first time in Uganda. I'm like, ooh, the headquarters in San Francisco must be worried about me. Big time comedian must have had phone call. Fuck you guys, okay? No. And so I pick up the phone as my driver is like, hey, where are you? I'm like, we did this already. This is already in the app. That's where I am. But I'm like, maybe he can't see his screen. Maybe he has a busted screen and he's trying to make some money so he could replace his phone, right? So I'm like, I'm not going to judge this man's circumstances. And so I told him where I was. And he goes, you're very far. Yes, I am. And I'm trying to get near. That is the whole point of why I called you, so I can get from very far to very near. That is the whole point. And it's like, maybe you can order another Uber. I'm like, no, this is not a negotiation, sir. This is not. Built different. What a wonderful time. Flew back and enjoy, again, the stress of travel means that people, none of us are normal. None of us are normal in airports, right? Like yesterday, this Nigerian man was the third most confident person I've ever seen in my life when I traveled. This man was like, I didn't even know you could do that. I thought that your hand would get shredded if you put it past those fucking rubber flaps or whatever. I'm terrified of that. I'm like, I don't want to know. This man was like, fuck it. No, I need to yell at someone. That's the second. The third most confident person, I would say. Second most confident person was, I don't know if you guys news junkies, but a few months ago, a man was caught at one of the Canadian airport with 22 kilograms of red meat in his suitcase. 22 kilograms. And some of you might think, oh, is it like game meat? No, just regular beef, just regular. 22 kilograms, which is actually, to be specific, 22.5 kilograms of red meat, which is amazing to me because most of you know 23 kilograms is the cutoff for most travel bag. This man was like, no, you won't catch me on weight, you won't catch me. 22.5 kilograms of red meat, and I read the headline, I was like, please don't be African, please don't be African. And they were like, the Egyptian man. I was like, one of us! So mad. I was so mad because I wanted to enjoy the story, and now I'm like, but I want to meet this guy because they never tell you his name, and I want to meet him because he's such an inspiration. Because in the story, they're like, the airport security dog sniffed him out. I'm like, no, we're not going to give the dogs credit on this one. Everyone who came into contact with that bag sniffed him out. You understand? Like, it's 22 kilograms of red meat that has been in that bag for a minimum of 24 hours. Have any of you ever left red meat at room temperature? It takes all of 30 minutes for your entire house to smell like a garbage dump. This man was like, no, I got this, I got this. No, the dog might have been the first to sniff him out, but everyone, even the Saskatoon guy who does the bags would have been like, oh, there's something dead in there, there's something dead. As he ran, 22 kilos red meat. I want to talk to this man. Be like, what was it? I need to know. What was the inspiration? Was he talking to some Egyptian friends and family who were already here? And they're like, hey man, Canada is amazing. Canada is a good time, but the meat sucks. And this guy was like, say less. Don't worry. I got you, okay? I'm coming to hook everyone up, don't worry about it. And then he had to walk out of the airport being like, man, the fucking dog, I don't even know how he knew. I don't even know how he knew. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I had the brisket in. It was just, because you guys know, the perfect brisket is one that's been in a suitcase for at least 24 hours. The one that started off in the Cairo heat. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Saliva is forming in my mouth as That arrived as a tartar, whether you like it or not. Okay, some chefs. Incredible. That was the confidence to do that. I was like, that's incredible. I won't even take, like, when I take food items, sometimes I'm like trembling sometimes. Someone's like, nah, 22.5 kilograms of red meat. Let's fucking go. Don't know how we did it. But yeah, there's a stress of trying to figure out, where we stand and everything, and that was the second most confident person, the most confident person I've seen in my travels happen in this very country. I was coming from the Maritimes, an early morning flight out of Halifax back to Toronto. It was like a 9 a.m. flight, 8 a.m. flight. I had to be there by 6:30 or something, very early in the morning. And this is very important. The time is very important because what happened was insane, right? You guys have been through airports, the security you have to go through, you empty your pockets in a bin, and it goes through the x-ray, you go through your metal detector. We're doing all of this. There's a guy ahead of me, there's me, there's two ladies behind me. We all go through the metal detector. All four of us, when we get to the other side, our luggage, our carry-on luggage has been selected for secondary screening. They're going to go through it manually, okay? So we're all lined up. It's just one lady doing this. She looks like she's in her mid-20s, probably her third shift. She has no idea her life is about to change. She has no idea her life is about to change. None of us knew that our lives were about to change. Because we're all lined up, and she's going through people's bags. Finally, she gets the guy ahead of me. She goes to his suitcase and points. She goes, whose bag is this? He goes, that's me. She goes, come to the front. She rolls it up. She goes, do you mind if I open this bag, sir? He goes, no, go ahead. It's open. And it's a classic hard case carry-on suitcase that most of you have, right? She opens the bag, and she opens it. The whole suitcase, and I'm not exaggerating, the entire suitcase was filled with sex toys. Okay? The entire, yes. It was just dildos and beads and things with feathers on them. And I was like, holy shit. Because I'm tall enough to see what's inside. I'm like, holy shit. And the woman was like, sir, please step back. And I'm like, don't mind me. I'm just learning. You do your job. I'm just going to learn. Because there were things in there I'd never seen in my life. I'm like, this is incredible. And she starts pulling them out one by one, and immediately I'm like, this is the most confident man I've ever met, because he knew what was in the suitcase and still claimed it in public. Do you understand? It would never be me. Do you understand? I don't know about any of you. Would never. The moment I went to the other side, I'd have just been like, you know what? That belongs to the airport now. Do you understand? Like that? Because you must know the person on the little, the X-ray screen is just gonna go see dicks. President, emergency. We have a serial killer on our hands. We have a serial. Right? But this man was like, yeah, no, that's me. I was like, what a fucking hero. And now all his toys, I mean, the metal little examination thing they have at the airport, like it's very stale, very like plain, and it's just filled with colorful dildos and just dildo and beads, and I'm like, this is incredible. And I don't want to like kink shame anyone or anything. I was just like, this is incredible. This is incredible. And finally, the woman pulls out a paddle. I'd never seen one. I'm not of the lifestyle, okay? But I immediately knew what it was. Do you understand? According to everything else I had seen, I knew what time it was. And she goes, what is this? And we're all like, bitch, you know what that is. It's not for table tennis. Look at everything else in that suitcase. And this man is like, it's a paddle, right? And we're like, yeah, we knew that. And she drops it immediately because she's wearing gloves. I'm like, yeah, you're lucky you're wearing gloves. Otherwise, you need to be vaccinated right now. You understand? You need to be inoculated, actually, from whatever. And so she's like, I don't know if I can let you on the plane with this. The paddle that looks like a metal. She's like, no. And she's like, I have to call my supervisor. So they hold up the line while they get the supervisor to come down. And I'm like, I turned to the ladies, I was like, this is the greatest day of our life, right? And like, yeah, this is the greatest day of our life. And they look at us, because there's 3 of us behind this man, and they go, if you guys want, we can set up another security. We're like, absolutely no, we're not moving. We formed the fastest union in life. We were like, he is us and we are him. We're not moving. I don't even care about my flight anymore. I need to know how this ends. Do you understand? This man is my hero. I want him to make sure. And so they hold up the line while they go, they get some other guy, comes down, he's in a suit, right? Very official. And then they start having a meeting about this paddle. And they start swabbing it with an airport swab. I'm like, do not swab. Do not swab. Your computer is going to crash. Do you understand that your computer is not ready? So they're having this meeting, and I'm like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, do you think some sort of weapon he's going to use when he gets on the plane? Like, what do you think he's going to do? Get on the plane? Submit the pilots into flying us to Russia or something? Like, what do you think? Because that's not the weapon in the, there's a 3-pronged dildo. Ask him about the 3-pronged dildo. That's the weapon in the back, you understand? Ask him about the 3-pronged dildo. Is what I kept yelling. Ask him about the 3-pronged dildo. Some of it was personal, some of it for the society. Because that's a fucking weapon. I don't care what male, female, non-binary, doesn't matter. If you're a pilot and someone broke into your cockpit with a 3-pronged dildo, you're going to fly them anywhere they want to go. Do you understand? Someone breaks into your job with a 3-pronged dildo. You're like, yeah, what do you want? Where do you want to go? Well, all the buttons will work at that point. Like, let's turn everything up. Let's fucking go. Incredible. But they put everything back. That was my favorite part too, because I removed a bunch of stuff. And you know how at the airport they always ask, do you want us to do this or do you want to do this yourself? It was like, no, you do it. Like, he's like, yeah, you took them out, you put them back in. So this poor woman in her mid-20s is learning about her own body that day. Do you understand? You're picking up a toy and like, how does this even, I don't even want to. She's just putting everything back. And they put everything back, they give it to him, and he goes, I'm next. And I'm like, yeah, go through my bag real quick. Because it's not going to be easy, inches, but big quick. Then you catch up with this man, because I have 2 very important questions. Number 1, can you be my mentor? Because you are an incredible hero of mine now. And number 2, where are the toiletries? Wasn't toothbrush in there? Toothpaste, not a stitch of underwear. It was like, this man's like, who needs toothpaste and underwear when you have a 3-prong? Do you understand? The 3-prong dildo takes care of everything else. You don't, like, I need to meet this man. And then I run after, I get on the flight, Some days it never happens. There's someone in my seat. You guys ever get to a place that has a sign sitting and there's someone in your seat, or this that you think is yours? We all do the same thing. Dramatic look at the ticket, right? You walk up to the seat and you're like, oh. And you do the nod, you have to be like, oh yeah. To make sure that everyone's watching that you're done your work. So I do it 45 seconds minimum, because I'm a professional. Then I look at the person, I go, excuse me, that's my seat. And they look at me and they're like, no, you're wrong. I was like, no, that's my seat. They're like, no, you're wrong. And before I could say anything else, they looked at me and they went, I know, it gets confusing sometimes. Yeah, that's how you know it was a white woman, right? That's how you know. And all the other is, right, but I can't go around punching people on flights, so I chose to fight the white woman way. I went to call the manager. Okay. And this case, the manager was one of 3 flight attendants. I chose the black woman because I like chaos. I walked over this beautiful black, and I was like, excuse me, is this the window seat? She goes, yeah, that's the window seat. I'm like, there's someone in my seat. She goes, okay, I'll come sort this out with you. Let's go back. She'll go back to my section. She walks over to this woman and goes, excuse me, miss, that is this gentleman's seat. The woman looks at her and goes, no, you're wrong. I was like, yeah. You just told a black woman that joke, she doesn't know what she's doing. Let's fucking go. But the flight has to be a profession. She's like, no, you don't understand. You, a letter C, that's the aisle. This gentleman is letter A, that's the window. She's like, no. I'm like, yeah. Flight is still very professional. Goes full kindergarten teacher. She goes, everyone behind, are you in the aisle? Are you letter C? They were like, yeah. Everyone in the window, are you letter A? They were like, yeah. And I'm just dancing. I'm like, yeah. So now because of peer pressure, I'm probably my dancing. This woman is like, okay. She stands up, looks at me and goes, do you even want the window seat? I was like, yes, you didn't think I did all of this just to dance at the beginning of my flight? Yes, I want my window seat. She goes, okay. So she hops and sits in the aisle seat. Now I have to remind you, there was a middle seat, B, that was going to be empty for the whole flight. And because I'm very petty, it took everything in me in order to sit in those. I put my carry-on in the window seat. Flender looked at me and goes, you can't do that. You can't do that with only 2 black people on the plane. They'll kill us mid-air. You understand? They'll kill us. Throw our bodies out. I was like, okay, fine. So I sat in the window seat. There's an empty window seat, and she's still grumbling. I can't believe it. I'm always, and I just reached over. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know it gets confusing sometimes. Yeah. And then I stayed away. So all the cutlery was metal. But I do love this show. I'm very lucky. I get to go across this lovely country. I was in a lot of exotic places, like Saskatoon, obviously. I was in June. I was in Winnipeg in March, and yeah, I was in Winnipeg, and I was out there. There's a beautiful club out there, and I was going to be there for a week. And then right before I was going, I got an email from somebody. Hey, would you be interested in doing? You're going to be in Winnipeg this week. On the Wednesday, do you mind doing a show at 1 p.m. at an institute? And I was like, yes, of course I'll do a show at 1 p.m. at an institute. I love talking to students and people who are learning, and I didn't really read the whole email. Because the institute he was talking about is the largest federal prison. And I didn't realize until we were driving up, I was like, this does not look a university at all. But I'm also one of those people who's like, oh, every new experience you learn something, you get very excited. It's a new experience, I've never been, I've never had to do stand-up in a prison. And I'm also like, Uganda, I'm like, Uganda immigrant, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be the first African immigrant to set, I'm gonna be a pioneer, I'm gonna rename this place. That's what you guys do when you go places. Like, this name is not familiar. Victoria Falls. to rename this place. And then we walk in, and the first security guy, is a Ghanaian man, like fresh off the boat from Ghana. And he looks at me, he goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing here? What is happening right now? Who's your immigration lawyer? Like, what is fucking happening right now?" And I gotta tell you, I don't know how many of you, a round of applause if you've been incarcerated before. If you okay, you guys haven't, good for you. Keep that streak alive. I have mixed feelings about prison systems anyway. I have very mixed feelings, but that's not the reason for it. The reason for this is when you go in and there's the security. You have to, they tell you leave all your valuables except like you just bring ID, you don't bring it in, like you can't bring your cell phone in, you can bring all this stuff in. And you know, you have to go through a metal detector, they bring drug sniffing dogs, and they asked me two very terrifying questions, okay? First question was, do you know anyone in our facility right now? And I was like, I hope not. I really don't know, but we're both gonna find out when I walk in. Do you understand? Like, there's a couple of people who haven't returned my text in a while. I might get in there and be like, "Hey, buddy, you know what, never mind about not returning the text. I see why now." So that was the first terrifying thing. Second terrifying question was, has anyone here asked you to bring them anything? And I was like, no. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm terrified because I have a public profile, Instagram, whatever. One of these people might have seen the poster for the show, sent me a message that I didn't see in time. Now my life is in danger. Do you understand? Like someone is going to be like, yo, where's the cigarette? Anyways, so it's terrifying. And it's in medium security. So it's minimum, maximum, minimum, medium, and maximum security prison. But we're doing the show in the medium section. Because minimum, we're like, no, we can go see comedy anytime, and maximum for reasons. But with medium security, and we go to the show, and it's actually quite fun. It's a lovely show. And then at the end, towards the end of my set, I was headlining the show. Towards the end of my set, one guy went, "You're a very funny African." And I was like, you could have left the continent off of it, but who am I to tell you what to say? Do you understand? Who am I? And then I end the show, and the guy, because we're not allowed, you know how after shows that you guys, after the show, if you want, you can come say hello, and we can shake hands. Can't do that in a prison. They were like very strict. You can't have any sort of personal contact. And one guy just yelled, "Come back next year." And I went, "You mean to do like a comedy show, right? Like you mean, because that's the one place you don't want to be a regular. Do you understand? You don't want to be. But yeah, if you guys are wondering, yeah, I might not be able to fill out Art Bar on a Saturday. But medium security in can really go fight up that good. Should life take a turn for any of you? Actually, none of the ladies, the men. Should life take a turn and you end up in federal prison in Winnipeg? Just mention my name. They love me. Yeah, other people want Netflix specials, not me. I'm gonna go through every federal prison. Have my fans. It's a fascinating life to live, but it's fun. It's fun sometimes. It's crazy as it gets. I was in the Maritimes, and there's a crazy thing that's happening in the public transit system in Halifax. They do social justice slogans. You know how every bus now, public transit, have digital signs tell you where the bus is going, right? In Halifax, they run social justice slogans that have come up in the last few years. So they'll give you the destination of the bus, and they'll run something like Black Lives Matter, or Every Child Matters in support of the Indigenous community. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. They're trying to keep some very important conversations in our society going. I was walking with a friend of mine, and he goes, "Yes, what an amazing sacrifice." I was like, "No, that's going too far." You understand? Like I was on your side. You know, don't get me wrong. I love public transit, keeping conversation going, but sacrifice is going too far because this is still a public bus. And if any of you are familiar with public transit, you know the rules. The bus shows up, you get on it, okay? Because you never know when the next bus is going to come through. You're at bus stop, the bus shows up, especially in Saskatoon where it's minus 31 in November, you're going to get on that bus. Do you understand? It doesn't matter which slogan the bus is running, you're going to get, like the head of the Ku Klux Klan, okay? Could walk up to a bus stop and a bus pulls up and it says Black Lives Matter and be like, no. I'm late for the Klan meeting. Just gonna put my white hoodie down and get No, if you've ever taken public, you know the rules. The bus shows up, you get on. You can walk up to a bus stop and a bus pulls up and it says, every child is sexy, and you'd be like, no. I can't be late for work again. I'm just gonna get in this Catholic district school bus. Oh, I see what the Catholics say. No, the travel is like, especially like with international travel, because I still have a Ugandan passport. Still travel with one. It's one of the most useless travel documents. Ugandan passport is so useless, sometimes it won't even get you into Uganda. You understand? Round of applause if you have a Canadian passport in this room. Yeah, I can smell the privilege. Oh, look at all of you. You're like, we go anywhere we want. And I've realized that Canadians don't fully understand the privilege the passport gives them, right? Because I can always tell the you people. When I say you, I mean the Canadians, the Americans, the British people, and your passports. Because I can see who has those by how they walk from the plane to customs and immigration. You can always tell what kind of passport someone has, the way they walk from the plane. When you're traveling internationally, you know, there's always a gate that says, oh, this is where immigration customs, right? You guys, oh, it's a strut. Arms waving, you know, some of you are already on the phone just doing content like, shit, just landed. What up, Instagram? Like all of you. No, not when you have a Ugandan passport. No, it's a shuffle. It's a shuffle. Like, oh, even if you have your paperwork right, you're still like, oh my God, I don't have any drugs, I don't have any guns, I don't have any drugs, I don't have any guns. It's like a mantra you're telling, I don't have any guns, I don't have any drugs, I don't have any guns. You guys don't know what it's like. Like, when you travel with an African, you have to have a story ready that no one needs. Do you understand? Like, you guys, you show up and someone goes, oh, what brings you to this lovely country? You're like, oh, I'm here to have a good time. And they're like, you know what? Have a great time. And that's it. Not for me. No. I gotta have a story ready every single day. When I was 3 years old, I dreamt that one day I was standing in front of you. When I was 7 years old, I won a math quiz. And my mom said, one day you too will go to Europe and enjoy. When I was 13 years, I fell. I still have the wound. Anyway, all of that brought me here in front of you today. Belgian immigration officer. And then I just wanted to know how long you were staying. That's all. I didn't even need it. So, no, I'm always prepared with a story. Okay? When you guys were growing up, sci-fi fiction, science fiction and fantasy was space travel, aliens, Middle Earth. You know? That was your sci-fi. That was your fantasy. For me, sci-fi fantasy was any show, any television show or movie that had a character that runs to the airport and they're like, the love of my life just left for Italy. I need to get on the next flight to Rome to save my relationship. And they're like, oh my goodness, go get them. And they give them a ticket and they run to the gates and the person at the gate's like, go get them. And you're like, when did they get the visa? When did they get the visa? This just happened. The person left yesterday. How did they get a visa to Italy? Let me tell you something. When you're Ugandan and your lover flies off to Italy, the relationship is over. It takes 7 months to get the visa. There's no juice left. Do you understand? You can cry at the airport all you want. Do you understand? You can cry. They're like, where's the paperwork? You know I went to Mexico for the first time last year. Right? Very excited. I'd never been. Went to Cancun, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with, I don't know if you've ever been, but we land, And there's two lines, there's two immigration lines. One line says Mexicans, Canadians, Americans. Okay? Most of you don't even notice that there's another line. All your Canadian passports must be fucking nice, okay? So one line says Mexicans, Americans, Canadians, all other passports. It's just me and one other guy. All other passports, right? And I could tell all you guys is Cancun, baby. People already taking selfies, me and the other guy just shuffling. I hear him go, I have no guns, I have no drugs, I have no guns. I'm like, oh, he knows me. But because there's only two of us, there's two immigration officers waiting. So as soon as we get to the front, he gets one, I get one. We have no wait at all. Okay? It's a lovely lady. She's like, how long have you been, man? It's your first time in this? Yes. How long will you be staying? I say, a week. She goes, enjoy yourself. Stamps my passport, lets me through. I'm like, I had a fucking story ready. I didn't even give you my story. I've never felt more white in my life. I was like, yeah! You guys have been doing this whole fucking time? I turned to all the Canadians who were still in line. I was like, how does it feel, bitch? Like, I got too confident in that moment. Like, I love Mexico now. I'm going to go every year just for that experience. Go to America, different story. You know, because I got my American work permit just in time for the trade war. It was really nice. I got it one day, next day they're like, trade war. I'm like, fuck, man. And here's the thing. Oh, that's a The thing about the American trade war with Canada that I love the most is when it started, Canada, your premiers, the provincial premiers across the country got together. They were like, we need to have a unified plan if we're going to fight America. And the first thing that they did was law restrictions on alcohol sales across provinces. And I was like, guys, that's not the thing. That's not the thing. But I also love that's the most Canadian thing, which is like, if we're going to go to war, we need to be sauced up to do it. We need to be lit. Everyone, we can't have any sober people on the front lines. You understand? Everyone fucking get a beer. It doesn't matter where it's from. Calgary, Halifax, doesn't matter. It's one go. And then the most terrifying thing came up. Elbows up. I didn't know what that was. Okay? Everyone was asking me like, elbows up? I'm like, yeah, elbows up. And I'll tell you right now, as someone who knows what it was, it's the most terrifying thing and why I'll never fight in. Can you imagine getting into a traditional fighting stance, okay? And someone comes up like this, you're like, I don't know what you know, but I'm not fighting you. You understand? Like, we can talk about this like adults instead of, like, I don't know what that is. So I went to the States to do shows, and first question, what brings you to the US? Easy, right? Second question for me with my Ugandan passport, do you have Ebola? No, I don't. Third question, have you ever had Ebola? I'm like, I don't think you know how Ebola works, okay? It's a pretty final thing to get, okay? There's a lot of Ugandans walking around reminiscing about that one time. Had a touch of Ebola, took an aspirin and things worked out. No. You go night-night forever, do you understand? But I can't just mouth off to US law enforcement. They shoot black people in the face for fun. So instead I had to be like, not that I can remember. It's humiliating. I went to LA as well, not for my career. I've given up on it. If it's not a federal prison, I don't want it. You understand? No, I went to LA to talk to movie executives because I'm tired of disrespect Africans getting movies. You guys would never think about it, but it bothers me to no end. Okay? I'll give you the exact kind of movie I'm talking about. You guys know when they make those apocalyptic movies, right? Something's going to end the world. Could be a natural disaster, could be an alien invasion, a meteor, whatever, right? Every time they make these movies, they have to let you, the audience, know that America is not just saving the world. I'm sorry, it's saving America, they're saving the whole world, okay? It's going to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's going to be a Navy SEAL, but also a biochemist. And the kindergarten teacher, right? And he's going to figure out how to save the world. And the way they do that, the way these movies let you know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is saving the whole world is at the beginning of this movie, they'll show a sweeping montage of the entire world being affected by this global catastrophe. Okay? They always start in Europe. They show you the Eiffel Tower, even if you've never been, you're like, ooh, that's Paris, the French are getting fucked, oh no, right? And they show you the Sydney Opera House, even if you've never been, they're like, oh, that's Australia, Australia is in trouble, right? And they show you the Hollywood sign, even if you've never been, you're like, oh, that's Los Angeles, America is in trouble as well, oh no. Then they show you a bunch of naked black people in dirt. Just naked, dusty black. There's not a single landmark in sight. And all of you are like, oh, Africans. I'm like, no! That could be Detroit. Leave us out of this. Like, why? Why are we naked? But we're also watching satellite television of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson saving the world, I guess. You don't think one person will be like, hey, maybe you get some pants before? It's bullshit. But I survived. Came back. And this, so always asked me, like, yo, what happens if you have to choose side, you know, as an immigrant, you know, if you're to Canada, you go to the States sometimes, but like, which side are you going to kill? Are you going to Canada, are you going to go to the US? I'm like, I'll go to Uganda. You guys sort yourselves out and I'll come back when things settle down. Do you understand? I'm not going to be drafted for this fight. You know why? Because if it happens to extend into a physical, all-out war, some of it has to happen between October and mid-June, apparently. And I'm not going to be useful at all. I'm not going to be... Load the gun. No, I can't. Hands are gone. They're frozen. I can't do anything. Mid-July to mid-August, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. I'll fuck Americans up for you. Woo! Yeah. I got a nice 6 weeks where I'm useful. After that, winter jackets won't be enough. You guys are lovely. I forget where I was going to go after this. Did a lot of travel stuff, did the visa, passport things. You guys did the prison stuff. It was a good time. I see a lot of couples in the audience. It feels like, round of applause if you're in a relationship. Okay, most of you, I love it. How long, you guys were the guys in the front who were months, right? How long?
2 years.
2 years? And how do you meet if you don't mind me asking?
Work.
Work? So you work together, or was one of you a client of the other person?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So you were married, so what kind of work do you do?
Consulting and professional development.
Consulting and professional development. And you went to consult?
Yeah.
You're a consultant. And professional development because personal development for you. What kind of work do you do, sir?
IT.
IT? Yeah. Okay. And so who made the first move? Do you remember?
I did, yeah.
You did. What was your move? Do you remember?
What was it?
It's okay, and I don't mean to put you in this spot, I'm just having fun. There's no one here, don't worry about it. Shut up. Okay? I know I'm a failure. You didn't have to laugh that hard. Okay? Okay? Okay, sorry. Did you like send a text? Did you ask for dinner? Was it a simple?
I sent a text.
You sent a text and you're like, oh. And then you were like, oh, I'll do it. And it's been 2 years and it's going well. Okay. And then how long? Year and a half. How do you meet? Dinner? Tinder. Okay. Tinder. Okay. So you on apps? How long have you been on the app before this happened? Days. 2 days, and you're like immediately you're like I'm done. Yeah, and it's going well. Clearly, you guys are having a good time. What are you drinking, by the way?
It's a white rum and Coke, but they put it in a mug.
Okay. Because you have a problem. No, but I appreciate the reason why I'm asking, and you guys met in person, and you guys met when the apples goes go bring this up. I found out recently that men in straight relationships are lying about their height on the apps. Do you guys know this? Is this a real thing? You've heard. Has this ever happened to you in using the apps where you found someone? And no.
Not really.
Okay. So I found this is a thing. Any other women have you heard of this? This is a true thing, which I find hilarious. I was like, why? That's the easiest thing to figure out. Like, what do you mean, right? And I thought it was dumb and stupid and funny until I found out it's a real thing. Because you guys met in person, so you already knew what the person looked like and you had an idea. But if you've never met the person, you can lie about your height. And this is how I found out. I have a friend that lives in Vancouver, and I was going to Vancouver to do some shows. And she was very excited. She's like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in a while. You haven't been to Vancouver in a while. I can't wait to come to your show, and we will get to hang. And I can't wait for you to meet my new man. You're gonna love him. He's 6'4". You're gonna love him. And I was like, yes, I can't wait. So I fly to Vancouver. I do the show. They come to the show. They come backstage to meet me. And he was not. He was not 6'4". He wasn't even close to being 6'4". Because I am 6'2" and change. And he was, and I could immediately tell he knew, because he came in with pleading eyes, like, don't ruin. And I did. I kept his secret, okay? And I kept his secret because I discovered in that moment, okay, that my friend is 5'2". So there's women who are out here 5'3", 5'2", have no idea what's happening above them. You understand? This man was 5'9" at best. And he went in with 6'1". She was like, yeah, makes sense. And so she's looking at, and we're standing next to each other, and she's like, oh my goodness, isn't he amazing? He's 6'4", so you must be. I'm like, yeah, 7'3". I'm 7'3". I should have been in the NBA. I'm a loser. I should have been hanging out with Yao Ming and Wemby. You understand? Like, and I love that. I love how tall are you, if you don't mind me asking? 5'5". Yeah, you have no idea what's happening. These men at 5'9" are going to show up and be like, yeah, I'm 6'1". You're like, okay. But anyways, I'm now doing a service for my shows now. Okay, after the shows, if you're a lady and you have your partner with you and you're wondering, where is he? Just bring him outside. So like, hey, go stand next to the comedian. I don't have the heart, although I'm going to televise this joke at some point. And I'm going to end a relationship in Vancouver. Do you understand? Like, I'm so terrified. I'm building this, I'm going to put it on TV somewhere. Oh, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, it's going to be on CBC. No one can see it. Don't worry about that. Oh, I'm the problem, not you guys. I 64, my favorite. No, I love that you guys. So, are you guys married, dating? What's going on? Dating?
Hanging out.
Hanging out. How long have you been hanging out?
Month.
Oh boy. I'm sorry I walked into it. I apologize. And then, relationship as well. He'll be in the middle. My hater who hates me. Yeah. Okay. No.
I'm with that guy.
Okay, this guy over here.
Yeah.
Married, dating. What's going on?
Married.
Married for how long?
100 years.
Don't say that. Don't say that. I know you think it's funny now. You have to go into the car with her. Like you think you and I are never gonna see each other again. She's gonna make you breakfast at some point, and there'll be broken glass in there. I guarantee you.
12 years.
12 years. Yeah. He said 100 because he feels like he's serving a federal prison sentence. Because I'm doing stand-up for him. Do you guys have kids?
Yeah.
How many kids?
3.
3?
Yeah.
How old are they?
6, 8, 10.
6, 8, 10. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're worried because you're like, if he comes to me, it's fucked. I know are they boy, girl, or there's
Girl, boy, girl.
girl, boy, girl? Yeah. Did you know that as well? Okay. So you said 6, 8.
10.
6, 8, 10. Do you have a favorite?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite?
It oscillates.
See, you're so full of shit. You're so full of shit. Okay? She immediately was like, yes. You think we're going to judge you as a parent? I love you for being so real. Because I ask parents all the time. They'll be like, I have 3 kids. I'm like, your favorite? No, I love them all equally. Fuck you. Don't think I've lived in this world? So who's your favorite of the 3?
The oldest.
The oldest. it's fine, they're not here. We don't allow them. And who's your favorite? It's the same?
I like the youngest.
The youngest one? Okay. So just so you know, 8-year-old is going to be a comedian. Just so you know. Yeah. Two avenues for the 8-year-old. They're either going to be in an institute in Winnipeg, or they're going to perform in an institute in Winnipeg. Those are the only options that you have. Because guess what? You know what 8-year-old knows? 10-year-old is the favorite. 6-year-old is the favorite. They know that every day they wake up, they're like, fuck. When you set out 2 bowls of cereal, they're like, you have a third child? Like, oh, right. No, I love that because I also know your 8-year-old. Now, I've never met your kids, and I know for a fact, because you said it's girl, boy, girl, right? So it's a boy in the middle, and that's tough. You're the only boy, and you didn't even make the favorite list on either side. Woo, that's rough. Yeah, for sure, comedian. For sure. At best, comedian. At worst, criminal. Sometimes it's the same thing. Anyways, here's what I'm going to tell you. I love this show because that 8-year-old has personality now. He has personality because every time he's trying to be like, Mommy, you're like, no, I like your sisters. It's going to grow to be funny. No, but the reason I bring that up is because I think the world is falling apart. Because any other parents in here? Any other people with children? You have any kids? Okay, how many kids do you guys have? Yeah. I guess the other no.
He's with her.
Oh, okay. Okay, so how many kids do you guys have? 2. And how many kids do you guys have? 3. And you also have a favorite in the 3?
Sure, yeah.
Which one?
The middle one.
Middle one, okay. Was it boy, girl, boy?
Boy, girl, girl.
Boy, girl, girl. And the middle girl, that's the one. The other 2 can go fuck themselves. I appreciate it. You're the mom, you give birth to them, you've raised them. And then you have 2. Do you have a favorite in the 2?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I love that honesty. Which one? Oldest, okay. And do you have, and you said you have 2 as well? Are they the same 2?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
I just like them both equally.
What a hero. What a hero. So here's the thing, I love that because I feel like I love that the world is falling apart, and I love that you've done, I love that the 2 of you have 3 children, you already picked your favorite. The other 2 people are going to be such important parts of our society because they know what it's like to be rejected. Do you understand? They know they're going to be well behaved. No, I'm telling you. Because a lot of other parents are having the 1 kid, and people with 1 child are ruining the planet. Okay, they're ruining all the shit that's happening outside. All the hate that you see, all the bigotry is because you guys are having just 1 child. You're being like, that's my little princess, my little prince. Okay? Anytime as an adult, okay, that you've been in, say for example, you've been in like a coffee shop, yeah, and you've seen a fully grown adult throw a tantrum because they gave them almond milk instead of soy milk, right? They're like, I said specifically, I wanted soy, you gave me almond, and they start throwing a fit. That's an only child. That's an only child. No one punched them in the face early enough in life. You know who's never going to do that? Your 8-year-old. They're never going to go. They're going to, yeah, I got soy instead of almond. Don't worry, my mom never put out a bowl of cereal for me. And that's what builds a world where we're compassionate and nice to each other. Anytime, like I was in a grocery store and I saw a 7-year-old throwing a tantrum, right? And I was like, oh, the African in me was like, this is going to be a bit down in aisle 7. Do you understand? A bit down. And the mom sat down on the floor and negotiated with them. And I was like, no, that's an only child. And I know that because I was one of 6 children and my parents made it clear they were okay with 4. Which means 2 of us would go missing and no one would come looking. You understand? That meant all of us well behaved because we had no idea who's top 4. You understand? We had no idea. Well, yeah, I guess, right? But you can only, like, if I threw a tantrum when I was 7 years old, if I threw a tantrum in the grocery, my mom would have just left me behind. Do you understand? Like, not even I'm going to teach him a lesson kind of, no. She got whatever she had, walked out, and be like, you know what? He doesn't have ID, doesn't know where we live. Let's go, let's go. And I'd have to be a child of the streets, right? I don't have any children. I don't have any children yet, but I do want to have children. And all I need now is the mother of my children. That's all I need. Okay? And I'm going to have a minimum of 6 children. But I'm only raising 3. I'll explain, okay? All six, I'll have all six. And this is when men, you know, like, out of all six, they'll get them to 9 years old. Because at 9, our personalities are fully formed. Everyone in this room, you know, like your parents knew what kind of human being they had by the time you were 9. Okay? So everyone makes it to 9, only 3 will make it to 16. If you're 9 and 16, I'm gonna kill 3 of you. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't believe me, this is how determined I am. I only have 3 names picked up. Yeah. You get your birth certificate at 16 like a rose on the bachelor, like you made it. Daddy loves you, right? Yeah. You know when most men you ask them like, oh, what are you looking for in the mother of your children? Men will say things like beauty, kindness, intelligence, hard work. No. I'm just looking for a woman with a strong vagina and an alibi. That's all I want. A woman who understands we don't want to raise any assholes. We're going to kill 3 of our kids and get away with it because spouses can testify against each other. Okay? I don't know if that's true, but it works in law and order. That's good enough for me. Do you understand? Yeah. This is how and I know most of you are looking at this. This is how committed. You know those phone calls that parents get that your kid is a bully in school? In my house, it happened only once. School call, I'll be like, hey, sir, your child is a bully. I'll be like, oh, okay. I'm gonna come get them. I'm gonna take care of it. And they'll be like, what does that mean? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just give me my child. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna take my child home. I'm gonna line up the other 5. I'm gonna kill this one in front of the other 5. Yeah. And they look in their tiny face and be like, this is what happens when you become an asshole. Yeah. 1 down, 2 to go. Yeah. Now go do your homework. Yeah. I know some of you are laughing, but I also feel some tension from some people who are like, why is this African man killing these hypothetical children? And I know this because I was in Montreal and I did that joke, and a woman came up to me after the show. She goes, excuse me, sir, when you finally have kids of your own, you discover how difficult it is to even kill one of them. And I was like, I hope so. This was a comedy show. Not a TED Talk. How many times did you try? I'm in a relationship now, and my girlfriend, last week, we were having a heart-to-heart, and she told me, she's like, you're the most important person in my life. And I was like, that's sad. Because you guys have listened to me, I should not be the most important in anyone's life. But when she was looking at me like, I have to say it back. And I was like, I can't say it back because it would be a lie. And when we got together, she asked me for one thing. She said, I always just want you to be honest with me. Okay? So I'm looking at her, I'm like, I can't say that because my mom, the woman that gave birth to me, is still in my life. She's the most important person in my life. I have 3 older sisters and a younger brother. You're already out of the top 5, is what I said. My immigration lawyer did so much to keep me in Canada. He's number 6 on the list, for sure. Anyways, I'm single again, and trying to just say better words. No, I know I talked about the bigotry. We have a lot of shit that's happening in our society, and I've come to realize I'm never going to be able to solve it, not in my lifetime or yours. But while I'm here, I want to try and use, for example, racism for good. Okay? That's what I'm going to try and do while I'm here. And I'll explain to you guys. I live in Toronto. I use public transit to go around. And I was waiting for the train the other day, the subway. And, you know, you go downstairs, I'm on the platform waiting. I'm all waiting for the train to come in. And this couple comes downstairs and they're making out. Full on making out. And I was like, that's disgusting. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that in front of the rest of us, okay? Then I realized I'm just being a hater, okay? They have love and I don't, okay? That's actually a romantic way to wait for the train. You make a wish. But as soon as the train comes here, we'll all get on. They'll put a stop to this PD, all right? The train comes in, we all get on. They don't stop. Instead, they ramp it up. Yeah, now the guy's hand is going under her shirt. It's getting very graphic, and I'm like, no fucking way. Don't do that. This is public transit. There could be kids on this train, but I can't walk up to them and tell them to stop. I'm an immigrant. They would call the police. I'll get deported. I can't do that. So I chose the next best thing. I went and stood next to them. And I made this sound. I was like, I closed my eyes, licked my eyes, like, And then when I opened my eyes, they had left. And And no one was laughing. Funniest thing ever done in my life, not a single person was laughing. And that's when I realized no one knows who I am or what I do for a living. All they saw was a giant black man walk up with a very passionate white couple and make it a threesome without their permission. That's all they saw. No one slept on the train that night. And none of you are going to sleep tonight. Anyways, you guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming out. It's truly a pleasure to be here. I'm very grateful. Just talking to you very quickly. I didn't know if anyone was going to be here. Again, I really appreciate you kept it secret, made it exclusive. You kept me to yourselves, and hopefully the next time I come through town, you guys will come back. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Thank you.
Ours is Simeon, everyone. And let's not forget Lachlan, who was on as well. Lachlan Grace. Again, get your fish magnet or his phone number, whichever. He'd probably prefer the fish magnet, but you know. Anyways, sorry, Lachlan. Did you guys have a good time, though? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, our bar is an amazing place. So many neat things to do. So many great shows. Please join their mailing list. Find out what's going on. If you have a tab, please stay at your seat. The serving staff will come clear up your tab at the seat. Don't try to dash and dine. All right? If you're running down 20th on a Saturday night, it confuses the cops. They won't know what's going on. Oh wait, no, that's somebody. Exactly, there's a lot going on. So. You're laughing at that a little too hard. All right. So again, folks, thank you so much for coming out to the Art Bar. You don't have to go right away. You're welcome to stay back here, have a drink, move to the front lounge, have another drink there, measure yourself up against Arthur, whatever you need to do. Again, my name's Ari. It's been my pleasure hosting you. Thank you so much. Get home safe if you're going home, if for no other reason, so you can come back again to another show. Thank you so much.
That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. Karaoke in the front should be starting up in just as soon as we're all done here. Sing some songs. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll hear you. Have a good rest of your night.
I think it was some people who were trying to get their phone.
Do we want to separate it? The total just ran out. No. They're gonna come back here. I'm sure. I was gonna be like, when you're I didn't get back there. Sign up at the door.
I personally am not. You know something I don't know.
We're getting here. Yeah, that's right. We're here.
I couldn't help it over here. If you ever want to have fun when you're in a Cuban store or whatever, grab a pineapple, find the seeds, like the 70, 80-year-old lady who's pushing her cart, and just put one upside down and walk. Funny as hell.
Okay, if I need
I'm gonna get into this. You guys think you're gonna stick right? Should we start
Right, you put it in her cart, and then she hands you her phone number, and then it's on.
password.
What's that?
You debate, right?
I would like to say.
Yeah, should we start that also?
Well, but it isn't that take. You really go to the end, you get life insurance, the whole friends with benefits thing, dental, life, health.
She had